Should be live soon, or right about now. Guess we'll just wait for confirmation that people can see Euan's wonderful drawing.
Yep, we are live.
Alrighty, welcome everyone, and we're back with a normal stream again after last time's Dissected. So, how is everyone doing? Look, you went further with your house again, your apartment?
So you're talking to me?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, my flat's doing okay. My corridor's all painted up, and last night I just sorted out my TV license because I just got the letter saying that you need about what if you need a TV license or not, and like, oh, if you don't sort one out, we'll send someone around your house to beat you up. And even though I don't watch much telly on my TV, if you watch any kind of live telly on your phone or on the internet, you do need a license for that. So I had to sort that out.
Got a license for that, mate? Yeah, the BBC are a bunch of gangsters.
Yeah, because like they like come up with any sort of excuse for you to have a license. Because I bet like in the future you probably need a license for like switching on the telly or owning a telly or even looking at a telly or thinking about TV. So you got a license for thinking, mate.
They love thought crimes in England, yeah. Oh boy. Melting Man, how is you doing? Had a good time? Bought a bunch of new stuff?
Sorry, trying to get used to this. So, bought any new stuff. Well, I guess most I can think of is some new Bluey figures. Because yes, I'm into watching Bluey.
How dare you, sir?
Well, it's a good show, and surprisingly has quite the adult fan base. But yeah, the recent pack I got, I mostly just bought it just for Calypso, who's the kind teacher character. Aside from that, I've just been, I just recently finished up doing the next episode of Forgotten Media, where I decided to bring back Oz Month, but instead of doing 4 episodes, I'm only doing 1, which of course was The Witches of Oz, which is this really obscure 2-part miniseries.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about, obscure stuff. Euan, you still there? Making us jealous you're about to have a barbecue?
Well, if I go quiet, then you'll know where I've went.
Having barbecues, you lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
might be steak. Might be steak, might be, like, burgers, sausage, whatever.
Shrimp?
Might all be
Maybe.
delicious. Yeah, it's beautiful weather.
Exactly.
Yeah, being as we got another 3-day bank holiday in the UK, we got 3 this month.
Nice!
Yeah, I know. Been through so many this month. Being ridiculous.
Long weekends, gotta love them. And Sala, how are you doing?
Doing pretty well. My roommate's family came to visit us last weekend, and that was great because his family is a lot like my family. Because I consider them part of my family, so it was fun to see them again.
There we go. So for the first time, we have a slightly better organized Discord, which is why we're having technical difficulties a lot, because we're working with slightly different...
Oh, I never brought up that my voice is all tickety-boo now.
Exactly, there you go. What is with your voice, tickety-boo?
It's a phrase, mate. It's all good.
Yeah.
Loud,
It's all
please.
tickety-boo, mate.
But yeah, we can do stupid sound effects now, so if we're constantly annoying you with sound effects, it's because we're a bunch of kids with a bunch of new toys, so... There you go, we can do that sort of stuff now.
Oh, Roger, how are you doing today?
That's the first time someone asked me, how nice. It's beautiful weather, sunny, love to go outside, but I'm stuck inside to preparing this stupid stream, so I'm kind of annoyed.
Oh, you had a nice holiday in Paris with your wife, haven't you?
Yes, I went to Paris. Oh man, I love it. Oh, I should have prepared some photos. There's this wonderful thing. The thing I love the most about Paris is you have the Louvre, like the big French museum. And it's a French big pride, and when you come in, there's like nothing but advertisements for the Mona Lisa. Like, go to the Italian Renaissance section. There's Mona Lisa. That made me laugh so hard because this is French pride, and yet all the tourists are immediately bolting to the Italian section of it. Must be painful for their egos. I was kind of surprised there was no French artist I knew about, because I was expecting Renoir or Monet or Picasso or, but they're all from the 1800s, the Impressionists, and apparently that's too modern for a Louvre, so they only had French artists I never heard of. Oh well, their problem, I guess. But yeah, I had a good time. Just walked a little too much. Feet were swollen up, so they hurt all week.
At least you were getting some exercise.
Indeed, that I should, because I need to help my wife practice, because she wants to join in a marathon or something this September. I'm not going to join in the marathon myself, but I promise to help her practice. So, got to get a lot of walking in. Good for my big fat ass. But right, enough chit-chat, enough small talk. Time for serious business. Blue hedgehog business, I guess. Yeah, shall we start with a bunch of small stuff? Because we had a bunch of news. Like the new Minecraft skin pack or Sonic Underground DVD. You want to talk about that, Melting Man? Or shall we just move on to Sonic X and Fleetway?
I'll briefly talk about the texture pack for Minecraft, because I got around to just mess around with that in creative mode. And yeah, it's really interesting. Like, I kind of first thought it'd be like simple textures, but no, like they do replace certain NPCs and enemies with like brand new models with their own animations. So that's pretty cool. So, like, one example is the skeleton archers that you fight. Well, now they're replaced by egg robos, and the the iron golem that's like used to protect the villagers. Well, now it's Omega. And I just found that hilarious because there actually is an Omega skin from that other Sonic Minecraft pack. But yeah, it's fun. Lots of designs and everything. And then there's the different biomes. So like the main one, there's all familiar badniks and everything's. And surprisingly, I think the wolf NPCs, they're actually looking at they now look more like Teapup from Tales of Adventure. And then for the Nether, that's kind of the underworld. They have the pig. Yeah, the pig warriors are now replaced by the Echidna tribe from Sonic Adventure. And then the third biome, the end, where you have to fight the big Ender Dragon. Well, now it's replaced by Robotnik and Sage taking control of one of the big titans from Sonic Frontiers. Oh, and as an added bonus, the Endermen are now Frontier enemies.
How come other games always do a lot more better references than Sonic Team themselves? I mean, look at the little pictures they have, even with the Cream's whole extended family, including General. I mean, you never see Sonic Team themselves make reference like that. They completely forgot. And even a little sense of humor, like the painting of Shadow of Adam meeting Gob, and now it's Shadow and Gerald Robotnik. Like, I love that kind of dumb humor. That's exactly what I would draw in my stupid fan games.
And speaking of references, they also changed the the sun and moons. They do that with soon with other texture packs. But in the Sonic pack, they now replace the moon with like the shattered moon from Sonic Adventure, which is very nice. Because considering how Sega is always like, oh, moon shattered after Sonic Adventure 2. No, it's just facing the clean side. It rotated, yeah, just like it always was. And then here comes Minecraft. He's all like, oh, it rotated, huh? Well, fuck you. We're showing off the moon in all of its shattered glory. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks creative and interesting. So again, it's frustrating how little Sonic Team cares about world building or any kind of creativity. As usual, Minecraft does a way better job of world building than Sonic Team does, as usual. Frustrating. But yeah, hey, at least this looks cool. Yeah, it's okay.
I think one thing they could do to fix the moon problem is, like in the next game, have it so that the moon is shattered on the other side, like the left instead of the right, to show that the moon actually is just rotating slowly.
That would be clever. At least they do that. I mean, technically, Sonic doesn't have to exist on Earth. It is like an alternative Earth, so maybe the moon operates differently. But yeah, that would require, them to do any world building and be clever like that, and I don't think Sonic Team ever does.
Exactly.
Their ideas of world building is just shoving green hills on everywhere, and that's the full extent of it. But yeah, enough negativity. Anything else?
Let's see. I haven't fully explored all the different models and other things. I know there's a video out there that shows off some of them, but I'm sure eventually later down the line, someone's gonna post a video like, okay, these are like all the hundreds of references of like the different mods and enemies and NPCs now retextured in this new pack, yada yada. Because there's plenty that I haven't discovered yet. Because Minecraft is really big with how they're constantly adding in updates and everything.
And I really want to try it because I love the art style. I absolutely adore this Nintendo 64 upgraded style things. I'm just not a big fan of Minecraft's gameplay in and on itself, but yeah, I do want to try it sometime. Because you had actual Sonic stages, right? Like 3 levels. Yeah, of course, Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant, and Sky Sanctuary as usual. But
Yeah, in the main Sonic world of Minecraft pack, yeah, there's like 3 different biomes. Well, first you have Tails' Workshop, which is like the hub, and then you have, Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Sky Sanctuary, and then there's a bonus one, which is more of an endurance round to go through all 3 stages without dying, and oh yeah, and then when Sonic Movie 2 came out, they added in Labyrinth Zone to tie into that film.
oh, neat. Labyrinth Zone doesn't get much attention. Only Lego Dimensions did show up before.
Yeah, well, it's because everyone hates Labyrinth Zone.
Yeah, well, Lego Dimensions only used it as a joke too, so there you go.
Yeah, that was always weird when they added Labyrinth Zone. It's like, well, okay, we can't use the music because copyright things, but surprisingly, they used the music from Lost Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 4, which is really odd.
Because people also hate it, I guess. Oh well, they had to do something.
Well, I guess they figured that was the closest kind of music they could do because, yeah, with Lego Dimensions, the only music they could recycle was basically anything not from the Genesis game. So they opted to just use Adventure tunes and Sonic 4 tunes, which I think that was the last time they used any music from Sonic 4.
And they composed their own versions, which sometimes I prefer over the originals. They were pretty cool compositions.
Yeah, at least they're a hell of a lot better than the classic Sonic music in Sonic Forces. Yeah.
Kind of makes me wish they used the Game Gear version of Labyrinth Zone. I love that track.
Oh, yeah. Nice jazzy upbeat tune. Yeah, that was great.
Feels more like a casino level, but still. That's why that's why it's the only Sonic music I used in my own level pack. But right, enough about Minecraft, I guess. So there was also a Fleetway Comic-Con, apparently. So since we're talking about Comic-Con, I guess, about Sonic Fleetway this stream, might as well bring that up. Any of you guys went there?
I did, neither did Euan, because it was all the way up in York. But one of our friends, Aaron, did. It's sort of like Sonic, Summer of Sonic, but devoted to Fleetway's Sonic the Comic. You got like artists there. They had most of the artists from the comics there. You got like panels, and also there was a cosplay contest as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's always fun. And I guess we can guess who won.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would have liked to have gone, but I think it was just like, poor timing because of, when the whole thing was taking place. Because it was also then like, okay, how do I get to York? And then like, okay, but where could I go if I decide to drive, sort of thing, etc., etc. So it's just like, it would have piled up for me, and I thought, but had to give it a skip.
Same here, because like, got to sort out my funds for my flat, and also York is pretty far away for me, especially by train.
Yeah.
Poor Luke having to adults and be a responsible, mature man instead of obsessing over Sonic like us.
Yeah. No sense of abandonment.
Right. Still kind of interesting that the bird character Techno won this competition, since we'll be getting our official introduction to her this stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also there was a cosplayer there who looked pretty fabulous, who we haven't introduced him yet. He won't be appear for a while, called Fabian Vane, who's like, he's a bit like the Fleetway version of Cacophonix, who's a bit of a pop star, but his singing is rather terrible.
All right. I guess that's the person with the curly hair and white stripes and a white suit.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Guess we're looking forward to that then. And the third person, is that supposed to be Johnny with the orange jacket and all that?
Oh yeah,
I'm guessing he's
probably in the middle, like, but it's hard to tell though because of the photo.
Yeah, it's not a perfect photo. Oh well.
It kind of looks like Short Fuse, just without the cybernetic armor with the orange.
Short the squirrel.
Yeah, his squirrel. Yeah.
All right, could be. And then of course there's Amy, and of course the one in the last place is obviously Pixel Brain. Alrighty, anything else? Well, maybe something I want to bring up later. I guess it's time for our main stuff to talk about. Sonic X and Sonic Fleetway. So, shall we move on to Sonic X episode 66? Anyone wants to do a synopsis of that? Sala, you said you loved this episode, or was it my turn?
I loved both of these episodes, so I can't really decide. So I guess I'll do 66.
Well, if you want to do the other one, feel free.
Execute it.
Execute order 66. Do it.
Synopsis 66.
Do it.
There we go. We need to have an audio of this of the Emperor.
All right, so this episode starts with the typhoon outside of a giant black hole, and they're considering just jumping in because why not? And the four kids actually removed several scenes right at the beginning that explain like part of what they're doing and why and where they're going, and even like they changed another scene where like Sonic says like, Chris, this is Cosmo's world, not ours and not yours. You don't have to come. And Chris is like, no, I wanna. And the four kids stuff, they're like, we should figure out a way to send you home at some point. Anywho, so they
random time to bring that up.
Yeah. So they go inside of what four kids calls the cloister, but the original calls it the Galactic Tunnel or something like that.
That sounds very Warhammer.
Yeah, the version I saw, they just said, "Oh, this must be the entrance to the Metarex universe or something."
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's just basically a wormhole to a different universe where the Metarex are from. And while they're in there, they get attacked by plants, and the plants cover up the entire typhoon and pin it in place. So everyone's like taking care of the weeds. And then Chris shows up with his newest, dumbest invention, buzzsaw shoes. And
I thought they were kind of cool.
they're neat and they're effective for sure, but God, that does not make sense.
Should he be damaging the spaceship anyway?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Sonic just takes care of all the weeds, and that's fine. And then it cuts to the Metarex, like discussing like, oh, who's gonna attack Sonic? And there's again a big difference in the dub and the sub, where Yellow Zelkova is just there eating spicy curry and wondering why he likes it so much, and decides he likes it because it's not sweet. And then he starts rampaging for no reason. And the four kids dub, they just cut to him rampaging, but like as he does it like to show off his strength, to prove a point that he should be the one to go.
Does fit better with the story, I guess. But in the Japanese version now, he's a robotic Zaman from Lost World. Yeah. Pretty much.
At least he's more competent, yeah.
So these giant like rock mushrooms sprout up in front of the typhoon, but like Yellow Zelkova blasts through them easily after Knuckles failed to even make a dent in one. Ooh, how powerful is Yellow Zelkova if he's able to do this with ease that Knuckles can't even do at all? And yeah, so he starts kicking Sonic and Knuckles' asses. And then Knuckles displays my favorite moment of his strength, where after failing to even pick up a pebble of one of these things, a rock, Yellow Zelkova picks up 2 whole pillars and starts wielding them like weapons. And just when he's about to crush Sonic, Knuckles gets under one of them and just straight up stops it with just his strength, and then overpowers it so much that he throws it like a javelin and crushes Yellow Zelkova. It's whenever I think of Knuckles' strength, I think of this moment, and it's pretty damn cool. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Yellow Zelkova is fine. So he just gets up and starts rushing at them like a bull, because he's got bull horns. And Sonic and Knuckles realize, oh, this guy's not very fast. So they just start using that to their advantage by having him run into the typhoon to spin it around so that the cannon is facing him. And then, yeah, they just load up the Sonic Power Cannon. and Yellow Zelkova just stands there like a dumbass. And
Yeah,
waits
speaking
to
of
get
him not
hit.
being fast, it takes 5 minutes. And he says, what are they doing? Why is their cannon pointing at me? What are they doing? I don't get it.
I'm confused. Wow. Yeah.
And so yeah, they fire the sonic power cannon. It knocks him the fuck out, and they take out several of the pillars with them. And they just fly away, and that's it.
He's still alive? Nah, ready for next episode, I guess. So you're doing
Yes.
better than Red Pine.
Yeah.
But even now, I'm still just laughing at them. I mean, they had a pretty cool fight, but then the ending is so dumb where he's just standing there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when the charge shot is coming after him. It's kind of weird how they handle it in both versions. Like the English dub, it kind of makes sense where he's like, "What's that?" Like, "Ah, it's too bright, I'm blind." But in the Japanese version, he's like, "Oh, that's a firework. I've never seen one this up close."
He is not the brightest. The crayon in the woods.
No, not really.
But at the same time, I kind of find the Japanese version more funnier because I don't know. I think it's just the voice acting, the English. Because when I hear it, all I'm hearing is just the freaking president from Sonic X.
I just love the juxtaposition of the first half of the episode where he's like this very intimidating opponent, this very intense fight, and then the finale where he's like super dumb and it just turns to complete slapstick again. They're like, oh, firework! Oh, I'm defeated. It's like, man.
Maybe he lost some brain cells from getting hit too many times.
I think it's based on like the stereotype. You got the big, strong guy, but not much intelligence.
Yeah, like I said, he's basically Zalmam, I guess, except a lot more efficient.
And a lot more
much.
cooler. And he looks more cooler than Zaman.
Absolutely, yeah.
Naturally.
This is what Zalmam should have been.
I actually really like Yellow Zelkova. I think he is my favorite Metarex. Between this episode and an upcoming one. He definitely is quite the actual threat.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense fight. I kind of like the weird animation mistake when he was eating his curry, where you just saw the curry disappear as soon as it came in front of his mouth, as if the animators themselves didn't even know how a robot could eat. It's like, oh, let's just cheat and just make the food.
And then it's followed up with him. He's like, "Oh, spicy," and his like apparent jaw like opens up where the flame comes out. So
I can imagine that. I can imagine talking about this is why we don't go to an Indian restaurant with him.
It burns, Indian.
Yeah, he takes one as a chicken tikka masala and it goes bananas.
Exactly. And like the poor restaurant staff, so like, why are you destroying our beautiful restaurant? It's like, I like curry.
I like your naan bread.
Yeah, first we have the Cookie Monster, now we have the Curry Monster.
That's for Red Dwarf.
Oh yeah.
I do like the whole warp sequence where they're all like weirdly distorted and Tails does the Edvard Munch scream face.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some differences between the US and Japanese versions for that scene.
Yeah. For some reason, like, Tails holds up like a piece of paper that says Super Ultra Mega Wave Motion Propulsive Engine. He just like holds it up.
Well, I think the difference. Well, the difference is that in the English dub, they all have like the weird sounding voices, but they still talk normal. But in the Japanese version, they all sound very slow. So that's why it just pulls up a sign for like a quick text.
Yeah.
And also the whole sequence makes it. There's a thing in Warhammer 40k called the warp or the warp jump, which is how the ships would like do warp space, where they tear a hole through reality and they go through this hellish dimension full of monsters, and also the distance or the time it takes to get from one place to the other varies. So it could be either instantaneous or may take a long time, and also it's unpredictable as well, where you can like end up exactly where you don't want to be.
Ooh, pretty scary.
I mean, all I got from that scene was just reminding me of the old Muppet Babies of episode in which they pretended they were doing Star Trek, and suddenly everything was starting to get all warped around them, and Baby Gonzo says, like, I think there was too much warp in the warp compactor, and then they just simply turned the warp off.
Stupid.
was just thinking, like, please just tell me, like, that would be a similar joke to it, but they didn't do that.
Oh no, it's
So,
gone to plate.
oh.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Go love him. But yeah, I really love this sequence too. I think this is the first time they even give any sense of wonder about traveling in space. So far, everything has been kind of like derpy, especially with the chaotic, where the spaceship falls out of the sky. Like, oh, we have a spaceship now. Like, there's like no sense of adventure or epicness to it. It's just like, I would just go to space, whatever. But now you really get this sequence that's kind of intimidating, where they indeed have to go through this have to make this risk. Like, can we even get out of this? And this very strange place, and they all look and wonder. Like, it really gives it more of a sense of intensity to it, or we're building towards a climax, which I've been kind of missing through this whole space saga so far. But as a result, it kind of makes all the 4-volt jokes feel kind of weird, because Knuckles had a bunch of 4-volt jokes in this one and next one. Usually it's only Robotnik and his robots that break the 4-volt. Now it's Knuckles suddenly used kind of silly, like, oh, that's my character. You're using my line. At least in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, I think that
I
mostly.
hate that. Ah.
Well, I think that mostly happens in the next episode. I don't recall much of that happening here.
Oh, I thought else happened here. But yeah, mostly next episode then. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because we had no Robotnik and such in this one.
Yeah, I just know that in this particular episode, there's one scene that's only in the Japanese version, which is short, but it's a cute scene with Cream, where the ship's still stuck and they're trying to come up with ideas, and Cream's like, "Oh, I have an idea," and she visualizes like everyone just pulling the ship where it's tied to a rope, and they're like, no, that's not gonna work," and Cream's like, "Oh, maybe like no, pushing it won't work either." But yeah, that's only in the Japanese version.
I really
it's a
love
real
that
shame.
TV style. Yeah, it's pretty awesome art style.
But yeah, I mean, it really worked.
Yeah, who knows? Oh yeah, and then the whole backstory with Tails' electric trimmers thing. There's weirdly enough, there's two different backstories for where the English stuff is like, oh, I used this to help Ella trimming plants and whatnot. But in the Japanese version, he's like, well, I never thought I'd order something from the mail and it would actually help us out.
Okay, the trim. I must have missed that part.
Like the electric trim where they're trying to cut off the vines, and Tails is using this very long electric trimmer.
It must have been before they left, because it would be a big surprise he managed to receive that in deep space.
Yeah, to Galactic Mail. That's where it got it from.
Oh no!
Maybe the Chaotix are delivery men now. I mean, they're stuck in space
Yeah.
now anyway with their spaceship. It's not like they have any detective cases to work on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing that I liked. Well, it's more of a difference of how Knuckles was handled. Like when they're he and the yellow Metarex are fighting. There's this weird thing where they're like, you're pretty strong, my friend. It's like, yeah, not bad yourself, my friend. It's like, okay, where the hell is this going? Them suddenly being friends or whatnot. But in the Japanese version, it gives Knuckles a more badass moment where they're busy fighting, and the Metarex is like, just who are you? It's like, I'm Knuckles the Echidna. Good, then I'll make sure to write your name on a tombstone, along with, here lies the red hedgehog. I'm not a hedgehog, I'm an Echidna! That was just a real badass moment for Knuckles.
Yeah, apparently being mistaken for a hedgehog really gets him mad.
Well, of
and
course,
gave him like that extra strength just to fling him out.
It means they compare him with Sonic, so that must have been a berserk.
I suppose it kind of makes you think how in Lost World, where the Zeti would talk about like killing Sonic, especially like one of them going like, "You're going home in a box."
Hell yeah.
Pretty much. Well, it kind of reminds me more of Sonic Forces, where Infinite kind of also said the same thing. We're gonna put your name on a tombstone. Did that joke more? Oh well. Guess good ideas get reused a lot. Here it works better though.
Yeah, it's much better. Well, that and Yellow Metarex is more entertaining than Infinite. Anyone is more entertaining than Infinite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh well. Poor Infinite. He had potential, just like the SETI. Just bad writers. But yeah.
Oh, and the bit where Yellow Zelkova is like trapped in the rock as the typhoon just goes away. I couldn't help think of that scene from Monty Python where the Black Knight goes, "Oh, running away, hey! Come back here, you bastards! Bite your legs off!"
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good point. It was kind of weird it just flew away. I mean, before in the previous episodes, they never show any hesitance to just kill their opponents. So I was kind of expecting him. Now he's helpless. Like, okay, now they blow them up, but apparently not. I guess they didn't feel particularly bloodthirsty today.
And they probably just pulled off a Cartman there. Yeah, screw you, screw you, yellow Metarex. I'm going home.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, like, they hesitated to kill him in this one. Oh my god, just wait till his next fight.
Oh yes, big reveal in the next time we see him.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna kill Knuckles a hedgehog again. He's now ready to kill him. Now you called me a hedgehog one too many times. But yeah, I guess we'll figure out next time. No spoilers. I want to be surprised, I guess. Or something.
Yeah, we're not saying anything more.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But yeah, when you said this episode's going to be very awesome, and then one of the first things in the Japanese version that happens is Sonic questioning if Chris should come along. I was like, oh, that's why this episode's awesome. You're going to kick Chris off. And apparently that didn't happen. Oh.
No, this is the next episode that I've been hyping up this whole time. I had forgotten episode 66 was as good as it is.
Yeah, the next episode, Chris is actually pretty cool. Shockingly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is for now. So, who wants to do the synopsis of the film?
I kind of want to do it because it's quite an interesting, baffling plot. And hilarious. Okay.
It is.
Basically, so the Blue Typhoon has finally entered into the neutral zone. I mean, Metarex space. And they get, they're under attack by Metarex spaceships, starfighters that look nothing like TIE fighters, and all the characters are like talking like Star Trek characters, like "Engines to shields, what factor 5" or something like that.
Where's my coffee? That's Janeway, sorry.
We are losing shields, Captain. All that sort of thing. So basically, they come across this planet that's full of craters. I said, "Oh, what's all that then? What's all this then?" And it turns out that the whole planet was completely decimated by the Metarex, especially one called Black Narcissus, who is known to be some kind of chess master and is like really smart, and he likes to lounge around in his chair all day. So Cosmo gets some PTSD because what happened to the planet reminds me of what happened to her people. She gets they all get a message, which apparently think, "Oh, is that an email?" So Tails was planning to translate it, but Cosmo was saying, "Oh no, I can read it. I know the language." So it says like, "Oh, welcome to our sector, blah blah blah, all that." And then it says like a PS, which Cosmo just brushes away. Cosmo just goes off on her own to meet up with Black Narcissus because the PS was like, "Oh, if you want to know what happened to your people, come and visit me." So, but unknowing to them, Chris goes along as well, and Tails realised he could have used the translator anyway, which apparently they sussed what happened, and so as Cosmo is about to meet Black Narcissus, he was like, "You actually thought I was going to tell you that? You're a hostage, mate," and Cosmo just freaked out. Chris was there as well, which Black Narcissus didn't care about, but unknown to him, he tries to bust Cosmo out using some cool James Bond moves, but it wasn't enough. Meanwhile, the Blue Typhoon fires Sonic into the planet, which crashes down and ends up in a huge cache of fake Chaos Emeralds because they were making a lot of them. Sonic meets up with Black Narcissus, and he says, "Well, I calculated that you'll end up here. I didn't think you'll end up in the basement." And so anyway, Black Narcissus shows off Chris and Cosmo in a kind of prison, which makes them freak out a bit. And it also made Sonic freak out. And it says, "Oh, if you touch anything, you'll kill them." And then Sonic goes under some very strange transformation where he gets all this creepy dark energy and he becomes a bit psychotic in a way. The Black Narcissus says, "Well, I've been collecting data on you and I want you to try it out. Try out your speed and your power." So he uses these two Metarex robot things. Then Sonic goes insane and just decimates them whilst Black Narcissus sits in his chair going, "Oh yeah, very interesting." And then somehow, without any explanation, Robotnik shows up. Hey, and he's just like, "Well, calm down, stop that." So
It's been silly enough.
Yeah, it's like in Monty
Speaking of
Python
Monty
where the
Python.
general comes. It's like in Monty Python where the general comes in, like, right, stop this, it's getting far too silly.
Exactly.
So he
Here
tries
comes
he
Green
tries to make.
Chapman.
Yeah, so he tries to make Sonic calm down, and then he gives Black Narcissus a stern talking to. So like, I may capture prisoners, but I never torture them, even though might do in the games or whatever. So then Black Narcissus like ready to take him on, but then he gets completely wrecked by Deco Boko and Boken, and also Chris and Cosmo got rescued by Shadow and Rouge off screen. And they all made their way home, I suppose. Well, because Black Narcissus got completely wrecked and just like fell over in his chair, and that was pretty much it. It pretty much makes me think of like The Simpsons, where like it ends with like, okay, so Chris and Cosmo get rescued by let's say Robotnik.
Yeah, that's pretty much like a Monty Python sketch. It's like they're really building up towards this dramatic thing, and all of a sudden, like, no, too silly, and then just Robotnik ruins everything immediately. The end.
I can imagine it could be something like in a sitcom where like Robotnik and his cohorts go through a door and you hear like cheering.
Exactly, yeah. But man, are the Metarex really supposed to be this pathetic? I'm constantly waiting for them to finally become badass.
Yeah, I mean, like Boker just punched him in the chest and he just fell over in his chair and he just dies or something.
He gets beaten up by Robotnik's comedy.
Did he just fall over on a banana skin or something?
On the plus side,
Yellow and Black both get a moment where they actually feel threatening, and then there's immediately this anticlimactic ending of them.
Well, at least we now know what Black's weakness is. Comic relief robots.
Oh boy, we have plenty of those.
Yeah, those robots get to have a cool moment. So, yeah, if anyone asks me why I favorite these guys over Orbot and Cubot, yeah, I'll just point them to this episode.
Yeah, Orbot and Cubot never had a cool moment like this. No.
Yeah.
This is definitely the reason why I say that Eco and Boko are Eggman's most competent sidekicks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Eggman hypes them up like crazy in this episode, too. Like, he said they could take on an army of Metarex with their bare hands.
Yeah.
They're my bodyguards.
So yeah, Deco and Boko, loyal robots to Robotnik, and while Orbot and Cubot are just boring office workers.
Pretty much.
Yeah, still I find it really. Yeah, but still, I find it really odd how the ending for this episode is handled very different between the U.S. and Japanese versions.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah. So I think in the English dub, the Black Metarex is actually still functioning and still talking to Robotnik, and it kind of leads into this whole, like, oh, don't hurt Sonic and the others. Like, yeah, well, why that? Well, that depends if you want me to be your greatest enemy or greatest ally, ha ha ha. Well, in the Japanese version, he's, like, presumably dead, and Robotnik's like, yeah, well, that'll teach you a lesson. I may not be, I'm not signing with Sonic, but I'm the one who's the, the big shot. Something like that. Well, and not just because of the whole bit with Rouge having that fourth wall gag in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all I get for this episode. Call the producer.
Well, fourth wall jokes.
Well, yeah, I do find it odd because like the Japanese version is it's a lot more atmospheric. Like the whole scene with Cosmo heading into the planet to talk to Black Metarex, like there's no music and there's barely any dialogue, which is a huge difference between the US dub. So there's just too many cool moments for that. So I can easily, pardon the weird fourth wall jokes. Like most of it just happens in the beginning.
Fair enough. But yeah, what a wacky episode. But are you sure is Black actually dead after this? Is that his end?
Well, I assume he dies, or at least in the Japanese version. But I don't know. My memory's a bit hazy on the Sonic X Season 3, so maybe we'll see him come back or not.
He is not dead.
Ah, okay. I am not yet dead.
I also keep loving how the Metarex keep bringing up the death of Red Pine as if that was like Sonic's badass move, even though in the episode they never even knew about Red Pine. He just died by accident. It's like those comedy movies, like a Leslie Nielsen or movie where they all think he's like this badass assassin while he's just an idiot bumbling through the whole plot.
I would be so pissed off if where we see Sonic's dark side and we see like an evil, darkest evil version of Sonic, and he never see that ever again.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I guess we should probably talk a little more about the introduction of Dark Sonic.
Yep. The introduction and last appearance of.
Yeah, sadly, he's a one and done deal.
So it
so
is
like-
just a joke.
Oh, rip.
Yeah,
hold-
this is it. This is
One and only
like
time he
12
appeared.
seconds of screen time is all this form has ever gotten, and he's still one of the most popular Sonic transformations out there.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember seeing a lot of fan art and YouTube videos dedicated to Dark Sonic.
But it is the weakest form of Sonic. This is the only super form of Sonic where Eggman can just brush off. Like, Sonic, just do normal. Like, oh, sorry, Eggman.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you could do that with Super Sonic. Like, Sonic, you're disappointing me. Don't be super. Like, oh, sorry, Eggman.
Yeah, bad hedgehog. it's kind of like that one scene from Sonic Free Riders in Minutes. Yeah, bad Knuckles, bad shit, behave. Sure,
Exactly,
Mr.
that was Super Sonic, yeah. Bad Super Sonic. No.
Well, hey, at least we're one and done super forms. At least this Dark Sonic is much better than the one and done Titan Tails. No one talks about Titan Tails because it must not be named.
So we shall not.
I'm just confused.
Oh, it's an Archie Sonic thing. That's well, basically, Titan Tails is a very buffed up Giant Tails, and we'll just leave it at that because no one likes Titan Tails.
Oh, Arnie Tails.
Yeah, something like that.
Baby.
But really, I'm so confused that they're still not really making the Metarex feel like actual threat. Like, yet again, we get introduced to super enemies they made that just immediately get killed.
Yeah.
I'm so confused if I'm supposed to take them serious or not.
Yeah,
Like, I know Sonic can bounce between comedic and serious, but here they just keep sabotaging themselves.
Yeah, I think it definitely would have been better if these robots had shown up earlier and Sonic had trouble with them, but instead, like, they just appear after Sonic had already transformed, and he just obliterates them in seconds.
And again, it's not the first time. We had a lot of those super enemies that they never have any trouble with Metarex mooks. They're a complete joke.
Yeah.
And poor Gold and Silver. We hardly knew them.
I guess they won't be returning.
Yeah, I think we were supposed to believe that they were a threat because Black Narcissus had invented them based on data he'd collected from Sonic. So they were probably made to match Sonic's base form. But unfortunately, we'll never know.
Well, I guess he didn't. I guess he didn't account for them to match his dark form when supposedly he got corrupted by those fake Chaos Emeralds he landed on.
Yeah.
There's no like confirmation of whether or not the form is tied to the fake Chaos Emeralds at all. There was always the debate on whether or not it was caused by the emeralds or just Sonic being pissed off.
Speaking of which, this episode also introduces an interesting concept, which I'm not sure is going to be explored or not. But Sonic multiple times, when dealing with those multiple... when he hears there's 500 Chaos Emeralds, he immediately gets sick. And you get that feeling too when he lands in that basement. So apparently all those emeralds have an effect on him, but it's never really explored very well. And it's only Sonic who's affected by this. I don't see anyone else, like Dr. Robotnik and all, they have no reaction to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, of course, Rouge has a reaction, but it's much more different.
Yeah.
I hate counterfeit emeralds. Meh.
Yeah. Yeah, Sonic actually gets sick from them, so that's kind of interesting. Like, he's intimidated by their overwhelming power, so it's kind of introducing an interesting concept. Like, if there's more than 7 Gale's Emeralds, will they overwhelm Sonic? Will they actually work against him? It's gonna be interesting.
Archie Sonic would disagree with you on that, but that's a whole other different story. With the,
I do want to ask about your thoughts on like how Robotnik is depicted here with his thoughts, with his standards on villainy. So compared to like Black and Narcissus, along saying like I capture hostages too, but I don't torture them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, torture can be a bit of a concept that depends on who agrees on what is. Because, of course, according to Robotnik, being his slave and having the entire world obey him all the time is paradise. We might be disagreeing on that, so...
Yeah, that's kind of the weird thing with well, that's always been the weird thing with Sonic X version of Eggman, or at least in the Japanese version, he seems to have this very conflicting deal of like, oh, I don't want to hurt people, and yet I'm perfectly fine with other exceptions, like in season 1 when he destroys all those gun airships and whatnot,
Yeah,
and we don't see the pilots; they all died.
That's almost weird. Yeah, he sends robots to kill Sonic, but then when he succeeds, he's also like, "No, that was not my intention." Like, well, what was your intention then?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
so, like-
remember in a Sonic Shorts animation where Satya Robotnik saw like how Sonic X Robotnik is depicted. It pisses him off. It just sends
Oh
a nuke.
yeah, yeah, that classic story. Yeah, sends a nuke to destroy 4 kids.
Yeah.
Classic.
Before turning his attention
Yeah.
to.
Now that I think about it, I think this episode, in terms of the English dub, I think this is the only time we see Robotnik having that whole like, I'm a villain, but I don't want to actually hurt people. Because I remember that being brought up a lot in the Japanese version.
Yeah, they bring it up a lot there. So they really desperately want you to think that Robotnik's not a proper villain. I guess that's why he's also breaking the fourth wall all the time. It's like, oh, he's not a real bad guy. He's just an actor playing in the show. Get it? Guess that's
Well,
the
yeah,
way
a lot
to-
of. Well, then again,
keep
plenty of other characters break the fourth wall. That was mostly the Sonic characters, like Sonic, Eggman, and of course in this episode, Knuckles gets to have a fourth wall break. It's like, hey, why? Like, was it? It was, hey, why are you acting so serious? Are you having a character growth here?
That's true. Everyone does it occasionally,
Yeah.
but mostly
Yeah,
Robotnik and his robots.
Yeah, he said like Sonic had more lines of dialogue than usual.
Yeah, that was it.
Uh,
I hate those jokes.
Yeah, you hate all fourth wall jokes. Yeah.
Not all of them. Depends how surreal and far you go with it.
there was a funny moment of 4Kids censorship in that like even though like Chris and Cosmo were clearly injured inside of that case, they kept like ensuring us, oh, they're not hurt.
Oh no, it's just a flesh wound. Yeah.
In the Japanese version, Sonic was pissed because Cosmo's cheeks were swollen from being hit, whereas in the English dub, he's just like, she's never looked so scared before. I'm like, yeah, she has.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
that was
funny
so
because like,
stupid.
especially like when he walks right up, he goes up to Chris, like Black Narcissus goes up to Chris and like does something, we don't see it, but we see Chris's reaction to it, and he like screams, his helmet cracks a little, and he passes out, and Black Narcissus is like, I didn't hurt him yet.
I just gave him a cucumber sandwich with a slice is a little too thick.
I suppose what I do like is how much they made Chris more like a badass in this episode, like,
Yeah.
like James Bond and helping
Yeah.
Cosmo escape. I thought it was pretty cool. And a lot more developed for him.
That's a good point, because they already made it a plot point that this Chris is technically older, and so far I haven't really seen that reflected that much, but this episode really plays with that, where he kind of sees himself, his younger self in Cosmo and all that. But yeah, it's pretty cool to finally see Chris in a more badass role. Feels pretty good here. Of course, it didn't help him much, but
Yeah.
his attempt is
Didn't last
appreciated nonetheless.
Ah, yeah.
No,
And,
but at least I got satisfaction from seeing him get knocked unconscious.
Of course. Until Shadow saved him, and then now you hate Shadow.
Well, Shadow did owe him, so...
Yeah, well, that's another weird thing. Like, the U.S. dub, it kind of comes off more as meta era Shadow, where it's like, oh, there, I saved you, but don't expect it the next time. But in the Japanese version, it's a little more toned down. It's like, there, I've paid my debt for him giving me those inhibitor rings. Yeah, a more humble Shadow in that version.
Yeah. I suppose both of them have the implication that Shadow is not intending to help them again.
True.
Ah, yeah.
I guess you can make a point for both, yeah.
And then again, we're 11 episodes left, so who knows?
Indeed. Yeah, pretty good episode. I'm still kind of confused over the tone, but yeah, that's fun. Anyone else has a final
I
comment?
suppose I was a bit thrown off at the beginning, had all started like talking like Star Trek characters and using a lot of like Trekkie speak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially in Oh yeah, especially in the opening to the Japanese version, where it starts with like a brief mentioning of Cream having her own like personal journal. It's like Cream's model, Cream's journal number something something, which of course was cut out in the English dub.
Oh,
So
that's
it's like
definitely
the
the
blog.
Star Trek parody. I didn't even catch that. But it's like kind of funny. Your diary's like literally a diary in a girl's bedroom. That was kind of funny. I also noticed Till said something stupid like space kilometers. Like, how is that
Yeah.
different than regular kilometers?
Is it like parsecs?
Yeah, that would
Well,
make more sense. But yeah, I guess.
I suppose it's because like spaceships in these kind of situations like Star Wars and Star Trek, they're meant to be analoguses of Navy ships.
Hmm.
And so maybe I guess space kilometers is the space equivalent of nautical miles.
Yeah, I guess that makes
Yeah.
sense. Although then there should be more astrological kilometers instead of space. But-
Space kilometers. Either way, it's
Silly
kind of dumb.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Oh well, it's fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Space kilometers.
Yeah, it makes it more fancy that way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They
Saying
could
like
be
kilometers, not miles.
kilometers per hour.
Space
Uh,
miles.
Space.
Well, so we already got a Space Miles from those weird Sonic X figures where they're dressed up in spacesuits.
Oh yeah.
There's our Space Miles.
There was what was it? Oh yeah, from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. There's Space Australia. More specifically, Space Brisbane. Go Space Broncos! Watch out for the space dingoes. They'll eat your space, baby.
Well, I guess now we know where Addie's going in the future. Yeah, Space Australia.
Good times. Space Channel 5 also did that all the time. Oh well, silliness. Right, shall we move to Sonic Fleetway? Sonic the
Sure.
Comic. With short fuse coming back, we getting introduced to Techno. But first, Project Brutus. Anyone wants to do a synopsis? Or is it my turn?
I'll do it if you want me to.
No, I don't want you to. Well, actually, you should because you're going to have a barbecue later, so go ahead.
Well, it turned out I've already eaten, so didn't need to barbecue in the end, so
Aw,
I'm
sorry
all
to hear
hunky
that.
dory now. Oh well, I suppose that's going to be tomorrow.
But yeah, Robotnik's exciting tomato adventure. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do it now? Okay. But yeah, Robotnik is obviously just grumpy at Sonic for basically spoiling his devious scheme. So he basically has a poster of him up on his wall, and he just starts throwing tomatoes and eggs at him, like "I'll get you one day, Sonic." And then Reimer interrupts him and says like, "But Project Bruticus is now ready." I said Bruticus. That's going to be a problem with me. I'm going to keep on calling Brutus Bruticus because of Transformers and such. Project Brutus is complete. And Grimer introduces Robotnik in a very cheerful way of like, "Behold, Brutus the ultimate trooper," and Robotnik's so happy. He's like, "Good work, Grimer." And then he puts on like a brain scanner so that Brutus can have Robotnik's brain patterns, thus making him a more efficient trooper. And it's kind of funny how in that one shot it's like, "Brutus live," and it's almost like Robotnik's also getting electrocuted as well. But Brutus awakens and Brutus basically just awakens and like he tells Robotnik like, "With your brain patterns fully functional, it'll be no problem in exterminating Sonic the Hedgehog."
I was so disappointed that he doesn't immediately also start grabbing tomatoes and eggs and throw at those Sonic posters as well. He immediately copies Robotnik from the beginning. That would have been
If they
funny.
did, yeah, that would have been like funny. But then again, it's like Robotnik would have been angry at Grimer, saying like, Grimer, you did it wrong again. Now go back and do it again."
What do you mean?
I don't
That's
wanna be
exactly how
back.
you behaved.
Yes, I don't want him to be exactly like me, right as I am right at this very moment.
I missed the
But yeah.
opportunity, but oh well. I guess
Yeah.
we're supposed to take this guy seriously. And unlike Sonic X, Sonic Fleetway does a slightly better job at that.
Yeah. Well, Sonic and Co. basically arrive dressed in disguise as Beaky's travelling circus as they return to the Pleasant Zone from issue 40, which I believe was when the whole place was frozen over. So Sonic basically dumps the disguise and basically goes around greeting everyone, whilst a spy for Robotnik transmits a message to the receptionist, who basically says like, "Oh, you found Sonic over at Pleasant Zone? I'll alert Robotnik at once." But Brutus is already there, and he's like, "Don't bother with him. I'll deal with Sonic myself." And sure enough, a short time later, he turns up at Pleasant Zone and reveals himself to Sonic, like saying like, "I am Brutus, commander of the elite troop force of Mobius." And of course, he orders the troopers to attack, and Sonic and the others basically make effortless work against them as they just like fall to bits at this point.
As if they're Metarex,
Sonic goes,
yeah.
Sonic goes after Brutus, but just gets a bitch slapped away, literally.
And then he gets executed. The end.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like Sonic's about to say, "No robot's unbeatable. I always," but then he just gets interrupted, like, "Not this time. Troopers finish him," and he just like pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
On Sonic, and then it just like ends there. It's like story finished. Sonic dies. Robotnik's supreme ruler. The end.
I love how after that you immediately get fan art of horror Sonic, like, fittingly. Like, oh, he's dead, now he's zombie Sonic. There you go.
Exactly.
Perfect timing. Well, yeah, pretty good story.
Yeah, I do like Brutus because he's one of the few villains in Fleetway that could outsmart and outmatch Robotnik and becomes more of a threat later on in a Starscream sort of way.
Ooh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Starscream becomes competent.
In a sort of way, or in the way like he wants to thinks he's better and more superior than Robotnik, that he wants to usurp him.
Yeah, but Brutus actually has claim to that title, while Starscream never did.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he became king of the Decepticons for 5 seconds.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, before he got turned to Space Ash.
Aw, poor guy.
He became a ghost as well.
A space ghost?
Yeah.
A space robot ghost.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
he became an interview show host. Absolutely.
I suppose they didn't do that in the Bayformers films, where after Starscream dies in the first movie, he comes back later as a ghost.
Why not? Do robots have souls?
They have sparks.
No, there you go.
I felt very tempted to make a South Park reference there.
I have no idea which
You know-
that would be.
It's like, "You just have souls."
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, just because everyone say like, "Well, robots have souls," and so like, "You just have souls."
Poor Kyle. I'm surprised
Yeah,
they keep
kind of
up with the theme of them still being carnies, because they don't really
Yeah.
draw that much with in the comic with that. But they do keep.
Not
keep...
lately. But yeah, also nice that they continue making references to like previous stories, so it's not like purely just a one-off sort of thing. They at least bring mention to it, like with what happened with Pleasant Zone.
Yeah, a little bit of continuity in world building. That's nice, and also nice we're finally out of Emerald Hills all the time and see the other
Exactly.
sides a bit. Good stuff. Yeah, I like it. But yeah, my favorite picture is still the first one, Robotnik throwing tomatoes. I always love seeing Robotnik just being petty. That's always the best parts.
Yeah. It's always funny, like like how in panels, like he's shown off like being like supremely evil, but then there's always these moments of him doing silly things.
Especially Fleetway is so good at it. Especially when he's so super happy in the next page, where he's like all arms stretched out. Yeah, he's so giddy. Like, I love how he keeps flipping back and forth between like goofy man-child and horror creature all the time. That's great.
Exactly.
You English are so good at that.
But yeah, I just kind of find it such a nice little image of like them both with their arms out. It's like them being part of a show act in a way. It's like the mighty Robotnik and Grimer.
Applause. Where's the sound effect?
There you go.
There you go.
Hey.
But yeah, it's like, but yeah, I do like how Brutus looks in a way. It definitely shows like he's like a tier up from the regular troopers.
Indeed.
And of course, even for me, being as a young kid, even hearing the name Brutus, I was like, oh yeah, I think I know where this is going to go, because I read a lot of Asterix.
Julius
So I kinda know
Caesar,
what happened.
watch your back, buddy. Oh wait, there's no character called Caesar here. Lucky Caesar.
Yeah, Caesar later.
I guess Robotnik is the Julius Caesar of this series. So watch your bag, Robotnik.
Yeah, the egg Caesar salad.
There you go. All right. So, any other comments about this first part? Guess not.
No, I think we're fine.
Other than I love the final panel of the robots just ruthlessly shooting. It's refreshing. Not trying to be clever or standing there like a dumbass, just immediately grabbing their guns. Nice and blunt.
Let's get straight to the point.
Anyway, we got a lovely fan art, including Luke the Fox as a bat, and this lovely zombie lady.
Hiya, move over, Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah.
So, yeah,
There you go.
like Grimer's aunt or something.
Yeah, Grimer's aunt.
She should team up with Mother Robotnik from the...
Oh, has he got like Sonic Kruger?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ruining all the dreams of Sonic fans.
I think Sonic is a vampire. I think that actually did become an official thing, like a promotional costume or something.
Yeah, I think it was in the Sonic screensaver thingy, was it?
Yeah, maybe, or Sonic Channel, or one of them.
Anyway, back to the fantasy adventures of Knuckles and Tails. Luke, you want to do this?
Yeah, hang on a minute. I just got to.
Poor Luke. You sound so
The browser's acting a bit funny.
Yeah, indeed.
Just have to
Sounds like
go
it's
through
acting
the
up.
Echo comic quickly.
Oh,
Oh yes, in this next chapter of the epic adventure of Tails and Knuckles, under the persona of Sonic in the Nameless Zone, whilst two of the Enchanted Kings are under the thrall of the dreaded Dark One, whilst Trog is like, "Don't do it, don't resist." So they are so Tails and Knuckles and Moraine are like have to watch as the two Enchanted Kings go under their horrific transformation, and they look like they're all winning. It was getting more and more horrifying as they start to transform more and more, and the Dark One saying, "Don't try to resist me." And okay, then the force field is all gone, and the three heroes have to work out what to do to help the Enchanted Kings. Knuckles sees the orb, and there's this really cool panel where the Enchanted Kings look really, really horrific looking and really, really cool looking. And as they go with the prisoners next, they found they were gone. I thought the After Dark one, like, we supposed to keep an eye on them, and said like, "Oh, I was so distracted, so I'm sorry." And it's so like, "Oh no, the orb's gone as well."
that's really a theme for Sonic X in here. There's a very dramatic build-up and then the super anticlimactic solution. It's like, oh, they just walked off. Oh, never
I
mind.
can imagine like, "Oh no, the orb is gone. We can't ponder it anymore." So, Knuckles, Tails, and Moraine managed to get the orb over the bridge, or the Dark One. So they decided to get back to the Nameless Zone to release it. Then they get stopped by the Dark One and Trog. Tails takes the orb and says, "Give me the orb," and Knuckles tells Tails to just throw the orb away over the bridge. So he just does, because this is a dimensional bridge where, so basically this is like the bridge of death, where like anyone gets chucked into it goes into like an empty void. The Dark One is like, "Ah no, I'm being sucked in." No. But I mean, I love the image here because it looks like something out of Gerald Scarf's artwork. So the Enchanted Kings managed to restored back to normal. And but what about Trog? And Trog's like, I'm pissed off now. I'm going to destroy you now. The end.
Yeah.
Luke, I love how you say those names. Like, the Dark One. Oh, and Trog. Like, he's just-
And Trog.
Yeah, and Trog, he's there.
Yeah, sure.
Even though he's got a really cool face.
Save
Yeah.
my friends and Zoidberg.
exactly. But yeah, I love how anticlimactic it all is. It don't feel like a proper English fantasy. They always bother me that they always feel so weird. And Deus Ex Machina each. Like, oh, they're trapped. How'd they get out of it? Like, well, they just stop being trapped and they can walk out. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
They didn't have to do anything clever. The problems are solved. And it reminds me when I saw that Doctor Who special, the 5 Doctors. Like, they constantly get into trouble that this resolves itself and the Doctor never has to do anything. I was just laughing through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But a little off topic now.
But yeah, I'm just loving the expressions like Nigel has drawn on all the on like Trog as well as the Dark One.
That's awesome.
Especially in the last appearance where it's almost like Monty Python and the Holy Grail in a way of where like he got the question wrong and he goes to his demise like going, "Ay."
What's your favorite color? Blue. No, red.
Yeah. What is your name?
What is the only to swallow? What do you mean? An African or European one? I don't know that.
I didn't know so much about swallows. King must know about these things.
Yeah, speaking of face expressions, I'm also amused how Melina always looks pissed off. Like, her face expression never changes.
It's Moraine.
Yeah.
Or Moraine, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, Moraine.
Man, even Megalith from IP is not this bad. Constantly being pissed off.
But yeah, she's always looking very miffed. I'm just like, can you do any other facial expressions, Moraine?
I think all the way to the end, there's one panel where she smells, and then the very next panel she's pissed off again.
I also love the sequence of the Enchanted Queens going under the transformation because they look like something like they do resemble the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
And the transformation looks very intimidating, like half melted and all that. But again, it doesn't really go anywhere. You get this one intimidating picture, and then next panel they're already cured again.
Yeah, looking
I got better.
Yeah, looking like Skeksis on steroids at that point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or like what happened to the Skeksis Emperor, where he's all mouldy and ugly, dead, near death looking.
You mean Trog?
I mean, I was talking about the Enchanted King. But...
Yeah, no, but I was just...
they both look ugly looking, so it's hard to tell the difference.
Indeed. Anyway, I guess we should move on. Random thing I found vaguely amusing. They show all kinds of screenshots of a Game Gear game Psychic World, which I had, but it's never mentioned in the text, so that kind of confused me. It's like they talk about Lion King and Alex Kidd, and they have screenshots of the wrong game. Random thing I noticed. I found amusing. Anyway, let's go to the next story. Cybernik Strikes Back. Part 1. Whoops.
Part 1.
Sorry, my brain shut off for a moment.
Because you thought it was part 2 or something.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. Where were we again? All right, there we go. Anyway, yeah, not much to say about this one. A bunch of robots attack a bunch of prisoners. Cybernik comes, he fights, he saves Techno. They fly away, and apparently our favorite Transformer goes after them. The end. Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Abridged.
That was it.
Yeah, basically the abridged version. Although I think you kind of forgot about the most important part about Short Fuse, the Cybernik, which is monologuing about how he became the Cybernik.
Of course.
Apparently he does that in every single issue he's in. He has to bring it up.
Oh, is that really a thing? Oh, it reminds me of Duckman, where the villain also always gives like a tragic backstory every single time he comes up.
Yeah.
Love those running gags. Maybe you should play a sad piano. It's the same as the comic, so you don't have like sad piano music playing every time.
It all started back in Druselstein.
Wonderful. Yeah, sorry I forgot about that. I didn't know that was a running thing. I should keep that up.
No worries. I mean, I'm sure by that point it will be etched into your brain the next time we see Short Fuse.
Indeed.
And you'll be like, ah, yes.
The tragic backstory. My favorite.
But yes, kind of like how the artwork is, especially kind of like with the first panel where like it's raining and like the troopers like with the dark shadow covering their eyes, so all you see is the glow of their yellow eyes. And of course, up close, apparently he's like killed a few Mobians, judging by the gun.
Ooh, intense. Yeah. Good point. I didn't notice that.
Maybe that's why he's so cheerful, because he's like, well, that's another one scratched off the list.
That's why he looks so smug and happy. Aww.
Yeah. Like, I love killing people.
Yeah, I do like how dark and oppressive it is with the rounding up the prisoners and like that.
Yeah, Sonic Fleetway definitely knows how to make it look intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's our big introduction to Techno, even though he doesn't really do too much yet in her interesting pajamas.
Yeah.
They really love giving females weird outfits. Oh well, proper outfits will be a lot better later on.
Just stereotypical, like
Prisoner attire.
Yeah.
Even though most of the other prisoners don't wear anything.
Well,
that's because they're all males.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, apparently that guy didn't. Apparently the guy literally like behind, like Techno after like Short Fuse starts breaking all the chains. Like it didn't take him that long just to throw away his entire prison uniform.
I'm free of
Like-
this horrible fashion. Yay! Watch my dangling balls.
Just
My
really
genitals
amusing.
retract.
But yeah, kind of like how the fact why like the one trooper's like, he realizes like it's a no-win situation for him, so he decides just to, destroy himself with a self-destruct in the vain hope that he might be able to destroy the Cybernik in the process.
Yeah,
Which to me is
seems
like-
very intense and makes him look like really badass, especially with that huge wide shot.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
very cool. It's a very great drawing. Yeah. Oh, and now I see the other prisoners in the background also having those suits. So you're right. They were prisoner suits. I was just confused by this one naked happy guy. He looks so
Yeah.
happy.
It's like,
Streaking. Yeah.
There you go.
And there's a panel that I really absolutely love near the end where Robotnik is really pissed off, and there's a panel where where Robotnik and Grime are just thinking about what to do, and it's about pull these really goofy faces.
exactly.
Ugh.
And the next panel, he's drooling.
Yeah. Like, who can make the derpiest face contest? Begin. But yeah, and apparently a running gag of, I suppose more in sort of like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog in a way of where Robotnik apparently has rather fragile teeth because of how easily they crack.
Indeed.
He's probably never been to a dentist.
Nah.
He just makes robot
And
teeth for himself.
Yeah.
Missile
And of course-
shooting teeth.
Yeah. And of course, looking in the background, like the artist thought, like, oh, I'll have a little fun by actually having like a teapot in the background,
It.
along with a thermos. I
I
assume.
didn't even see that. Which panel is that?
It's in the last page. It's on the top one of with the wide shot of the Citadel Robotnik. It's on the right.
I didn't see anything.
I mean, look at it. The skyline does look very similar to
Yeah.
like modern day London.
Oh yeah, there is a teapot.
With a
That's-
flying saucer included.
I think that's just the lid of the teapot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to find it
nice.
too.
Yeah, that's very British looking indeed.
Oh yeah, I see it.
That's nice. Kind of reminds me of what they do with
Yeah.
Star Wars. That instead of comets, they occasionally put in silly objects.
Yeah, like I've heard there's like a shoe that flies by or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess that's Robotnik's tea factory.
I think I recall, like in the Back to the Future ride at Universal, where they did like the Future Hill Valley scene. One of the buildings kind of looks like one of like a styrofoam cup or something.
Oh,
No, I think
cool.
No, I think what they did was someone left a styrofoam cup, like in between the clock tower and the random building to the right. So it at least shows the overall scale of like how big the set was.
Ah, right.
I'm sorry to disappoint you on that.
So it wasn't actually meant to be one of the buildings.
No, but that's
a shame.
that's always a problem. Why every single person hates styrofoam cups when model makers are hard at work, because they're always going to leave it somewhere.
Oh well.
And of course, nice fan art of Sonic basically just getting bashed by someone invisible, or maybe he's just reacting to like the
Beautiful art
strange
next to him.
abomination of Short Fuse, Knuckles, Tails, Amy, and Sonic. Maybe that's why he's like, "Ooh."
Oh, it is a fusion. I thought it was just him wearing a skirt. Yeah, it's not a dress, it's a kilt.
But yeah, no, you mentioned it. He does have like
You're a bit
Knuckles.
far away there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you sound very off, Melting Man. But yeah, he
Oh,
does have a
sorry,
lot of
I
elements.
can't.
Yeah, he does have Knuckles' weird metal logo and Amy's dress, I guess.
Yeah. His necklace thing.
Tails is tails.
Hidden behind Sala's happy face. Now we can see it. There we go. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. And down on the back, it's like, oh, here's a free Sonic mask, which is super tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Only for the smallest kids, I guess.
Well, it's obviously for the next one.
Ah, yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, so far. So Morphemia's is back for next time. But for now, to the next Sonic the Comic. Project Brutus Part 2. Who wants to
You got a really cool cover there of like Robotnik ripping the mask off.
Yeah.
Boo!
Even as a young kid, I always imagined, like, you know, that'd be good, like a small little animation that could be done of, like, Robotnik just going, like, and going, like, and then just covering his face up again with the half-torn pieces of the mask, and then it just repeats again, like, splitting in half, like, going, ha-ha, thing, repairing itself and so forth.
Sure, could be cool.
Even as a young... I'm just saying that's how I felt when I first saw the cover. I thought, like, oh, that'd make a nice little animation. And that was all the way back when I was, wait, what year was this?
95.
95, so
95,
I would have been about, like, 9.
Fair enough.
But yeah, there's...
Frightfully free mask. How frightful. Except it isn't free because you have to buy the magazine. Liars.
I mean, you don't have to. You can find it in the
Could
store.
steal the mask out of it.
Receipts.
Or, just print it off and, print it off of the internet, because that's the only way we Americans can do it.
Yeah. And of course they've got their usual sort of, like, mask missing, alert your news agent now! They have to say that for everything.
Nice. Anyway, who wants to do synopsis for Project Brutus 2?
I guess I can do it.
Already?
So it starts with
Sonic not being executed, darn it.
Yeah.
I feel cheated.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah.
Hold on, I think maybe this tune will be more suited for this particular moment. There you go.
Poor Brutus.
Proceed.
So yeah, Sonic says a British insult, I guess, and takes Amy and Johnny behind cover, where they start formulating a plan, but doesn't really catch on because Brutus activates his infrared scan and finds Sonic's trail and follows them. Meanwhile, Robotnik has found out that Brutus isn't here and starts demanding to know where he is, and the receptionist tells him that, he left to go find Sonic, and Eggman is pissed. Robotnik is fucking pissed. And, as Brutus is about to capture Sonic, Eggman starts calling him. And Sonic like spins him by grabbing his coat and running around him, and he knocks into a building which falls down on top of him, but that didn't stop him because he's Brutus. And oh no, that's when Robotnik calls him.
Yes.
And he ignores it because like he's trying to capture Sonic at the moment. And Eggman starts screaming at him very loudly. So he finally responds and tells Robotnik what's going on, and he has managed to capture Sonic, and that's it. That's where this issue ends.
And Sonic is not particularly happy.
Yeah, but apparently Brutus is like, if I cannot kill you now, I am going to humiliate you by chaining you up and parading you around the village.
Not as much left of the village.
Yeah, I do like how this makes Brutus look really tough and shows early signs of how he doesn't give a shit what Robotnik tells him to do.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, I mean, Robotnik wouldn't care what another Robotnik would say. So
Exactly.
it's not in character. But hey, it looks pretty awesome when he comes out of the rubble of the house, like all cloaked in darkness.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome art style.
Just hopefully there was no one in the house when he came spinning.
Knowing
into it.
how dark Fleetway is, there probably were about a bunch of people crushed.
It was probably an orphanage.
Ah,
Or
Fleetway. But yeah, Robotnik's face expression is always awesome. It's kind of stupid how he's suddenly confused that Brutus isn't there. I mean, you sent him after Sonic, right? What do you expect? But
No,
then
he didn't. Brutus did this on his own. When he heard that Sonic was spotted in Pleasant Zone, he's like, I can take care of this myself. No need to even tell Robotnik.
Okay, then I'm stupid. Never mind. No news there.
I always seem to notice with Brutus, he's always doing that same sort of like pose of his like hands on his hips, like.
Well, it's to show him how mighty he is.
Yeah,
Like, look at me,
like,
I'm mighty.
Yes, look at my mighty chest.
Or maybe it's because his pants keep falling off, so he has to physically hold
Or maybe he
his
has to
belt up.
keep adjusting it like what the characters on Star Trek Next Generation had to do because of their tight-fitting suits.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he's built with Robotnik's brain in mind. Maybe Robotnik always has to keep up his pants because he can't. They aren't stuck on his. Oh wait, he has a onesie. Never mind, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, even though the regular troopers are like, are rather incompetent in some way because they keep on like saying like, "Are you alright, Brutus?" sort of thing, or like, "Well, we don't know where Sonic is" and such. But yet, there's at least one that's smart enough to basically put Amy in a chokehold and hold a gun to her head. It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's gonna get a promotion."
Indeed, he will. Yeah, it's kind of weird how the troopers go from super intimidating to goofy and we went back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny that like, so Brutus has like Eggman's brain essentially, and they even like point out that not only does he act like Robotnik, he even sounds like Robotnik. So now, because Robotnik's still using the Adventures design, now I'm imagining Brutus with the rolling R's, which is why I said infrared scanner.
Indeed. That makes it better. Because it is a pretty cool voice. Could be very intimidating if you don't never get a chance in that show. Right, shall we move on?
Yeah. Just a bit of a chuckle at that one sort of fan art picture of Robotnik's head just being on a like some sort of bat. It's like
That looks great.
Imagine think of that Looney Tunes short where Bugs Bunny meets that wizard vampire when he goes like where they transforms via magical words like hocus pocus and abracadabra. Then Bugs Bunny uses those words against him when he turns into like a half vampire, half bat creature.
Oh, that's great. I love that one.
Yeah, that's the one with Blood Count. I think that was his name.
That's a good one. But yeah, I
Like
also love the
focus or something.
love the other fan art as well. Knuckles with boobs, and of course Luke the Fox fan art as a wizard. Yay! He kind of looks like Luke the
Baby
Fox.
Luke.
I kind of like the one with Metal Sonic in a graveyard because with the long legs, he kind of has that makes him kind of resemble Jack Skellington a bit.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry, I didn't have that in the stream.
Oh, so I missed that.
It is nicely coloured, and of course, what did they get for their efforts? Riola Overwriters.
What's that? Breakfast cereal or something?
If only, but no, it's just basically you colour with one sort of like colour type, but then with a pen, special pen, you can actually write over it and it changes to a different colour.
Oh, cool. I guess.
Yeah, those magic marker kind of things.
Yeah, basically that.
All right. Cute, I guess. There you go. That's my review of that product. So, we're back with the exciting fantasy adventures of Knuckles and Tails and Trog.
Yeah, let me get to that part. Oh, right.
The Revenge of Trog.
Yes, Revenge of Trog, Part 6. So, in this epic installment, whilst Knuckles, Tails, Moraine, and the Enchanted Kings are on the Bridge of Death, Trog lunges after them and struggles with Knuckles, and whilst have a bit of a fight. So Tails, Tails accidentally let slip that Sonic was supposed to be called Knuckles, but he accidentally calls him Sonic, and Moraine was like, "Wait, I thought his name was Sonic." And they said, "I'll have to help him."
I was about to say you're a bit all over the place there.
Yeah,
Because I think you were getting confused by yourself, or like describing like, like Knuckles is Sonic, Sonic is Knuckles sort of thing. It's like, look, you were right. Okay. Back on track. Yeah.
So Trog and Knuckles are like fighting, and Knuckles lands a critical hit on his face, and Chog does a bit of a miss. Then Knuckles punches Chog off the bridge and hope he goes into the void, and thinking, oh, that's the last we see of him. They all make it back, and you had the wizard guy, and he says, "Oh yes, that's old Sonic." And they're thinking, well, "Hang on a minute, Tails called him Knuckles," and they're thinking, but then, and also you have Errol back to his normal self, and because he was woken up in the stocks, and because like after the Dark One's defeated, all the curse has been broken. Moraine still wants to know what was more about the Knuckles thing, but then Chog somehow comes back and said, "Did you die?" He says, "Yeah, well, I got better." But, so he caught on the rope, and he was about to go after Tails, but then he gets like, "Oh, what the hell? I'm feeling weird. It's not my heart, is it?" And
he does a heart attack, yeah.
But then he changes back into his old self, and the Enchanter King says, "Oh, he's back to his normal self! Hooray!" And the Enchanter King's like, "Oh, forgive me for all my horrible things I've done. It was Troll. It wasn't me." And so they all went home, and Moraine still like, "I want to know about the Knuckles thing." He gets the answer thing, and that's the end.
Yeah. The end. Knuckles almost killed an innocent man. Oh well.
They get no XP.
Yeah.
And we get one panel of Moraine happy, and immediately after she's pissed off and gritted teeth again. Like, "You motherfucker, you lied to me!"
Yeah.
Yeah, what's this Knuckles deal? Yeah.
I actually loved that little moment because she's like really pissed. She's like, "What's up with the Knuckles thing? Oh, hey guys, what's with the Knuckles thing?"
Exactly.
Yeah, what's with the Knuckles thing? Oh, hi, guy.
Now back onto this Knuckles thing.
I also love how derpy those two kings look like, especially the first panel where they're just looking down like, "Duh, what happened?" And they look so cute at each other after they were safely back, as if they're a romantic couple.
Kind of looking at the lower panel of Knuckles and Chog fighting. There's a bit of a fight, isn't it? Yeah.
I think the one thing I must mention about the two kings on like the first panel is like, considering where they're positioned, I think they would literally just be sitting down on the bridge at this point. Like, they're just like saying like, "Oh, let's just wait for them to finish their thing off before we head down to back to the Enchanted Land and such."
Maybe they want to end it all. They hate each other so much they're just about to jump from the bridge.
Yeah, that definitely looks like the face of like, just like, I've had enough of this. I really have.
Yeah. Fed up with this world. Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. Knuckles has this epic fight and nobody's looking at him. Everyone else is just going the other way. Like, yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
It's your problem, Knuckles. You just...
You got this, Sonic.
Exactly.
You've got this, Sonic.
Yeah. That was a
But
fun
also
little
seeing,
comic. Yeah.
just like, I don't know, when I keep seeing like that panel of like when Trog is basically turning back into like the original king, the moment like he starts changing, going like, "Gak!" I'm just kind of keep getting reminded of the Asterix like audio tape from Asterix and the Black Gold, in which Get a Fix is like having a massive go at someone, and then he suddenly just goes pop, and he just collapses, sort of thing.
Oh yeah, because
And every time I just keep imagining like that voice every time is like, "I will get you," and they just collapse.
Yeah, because Getterdix was really desperate to get that crude oil, but the merchant said that he didn't have any, and it freaked him out because it was essential. It was essential agreement for the magic potion.
Yeah. And of course,
Indeed.
Moraine, is it?
Yeah, brain.
Yeah, basically at the end it's like saying, "Hey, wait, I'm still wondering about why you called Sonic Knuckles, and where the hell have my ears gone?"
That's a good question, yeah.
Because her ears are just literally
I
vanished.
guess her ears were also part of the spell of the Dark One.
Yeah.
Yes. "I need a sacrifice. I shall take away your ears."
Or maybe Knuckles just ripped her ears off. You asked too many questions.
You heard nothing.
And that's why Moraine never returns again.
It's like a Godfather movie. It's like, you heard too much, so I'm taking your ears.
Well, I mean, the third Enchanted King could obviously pass for like a Godfather type character. It's like, if he were most power and faithful assistant Sonic.
There you go. Hey, Donkey Bell. Good stuff. I love the artwork. But yeah, so that's the last we ever see of Moraine, earless.
For a while.
All right.
Well, I mean, we'll see her again eventually.
Euan, could you repeat that? My PC kind of froze up for the last minute.
Did it?
Oh.
Quite the echo there.
I was just saying, Tails will return to the Nameless Zone, but not for a while, so...
Yeah, it was only for one time, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we only get one more adventure for that, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, disappointing in a way.
And it was super lame.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember it being lame.
Oh, well. And he was saying that the old king looks like Vito Corleone, so there you go. The Godfather.
Have to remember that in the future.
Indeed.
If we ever see him again and we have to make him sound like, the Godfather. It's like, hey, what are you doing this thing?
Look at the music of my boy.
I'll make him enough so he can't confuse.
I'll leave that up to you.
He can't confuse.
Yeah, well, can't refuse.
I think you're confused.
I'm confused, lol.
There you go. Perfect. It all comes together. Alrighty, let's go on. Back to Cybernik and Techno's thrilling adventure. So, Cybernik flies off with Techno. She says her laboratory is there, and she lands in an empty field, probably in the Sonic Frontier island, probably somewhere. So he's looking desperately to find something, but apparently he can only access it with Techno's secret tree branch. Good and lucky for her, she can recognize that. And they get to her laboratory. Well, she's gonna build him a bomb, which he's gonna use for another adventure. Meanwhile, Robotnik is still drooling out of his mouth. This lovely picture. And send Metamorphia. What's the name again?
Yeah, Metamorphia.
Metamorphia after them, as he's all happy. So off we go on our epic adventure. They fly off to Oil Ocean, is it? I think. Looks
Chemical
like
plant soon.
Really?
Yeah, chemical plant.
It looks like Oil Ocean. Lying bastards. Anyway, yeah, they fight a bunch of badniks. He's planning a bomb. But then, the giant Metamorphia is there. The big fight is on while the bomb is ticking down. How thrilling. And then we get beautiful fan art of a stupid wizard. So, any thoughts?
But this is the first time that we see Techno wearing her black and red striped jersey, which is basically a reference to the Beano characters Dennis the Menace and Minnie the Minx, which were characters in British comic The Beano.
Oh, really? That's cool. Yeah, now you mention it. I didn't even think of that.
And of course, Short Fuse gets a upgrade, and by that he gets new gloves, shoulder pads, and boots.
There you go. No, he's just more colorful, and that's good because there's always a problem with the art that he looks way too samey. And there's more punch to his design. Kind of fun how Techno doesn't fly like a bird, but flies like Superman. Is it a bird? It's Superman. There's no difference.
Yeah, because this was before the Babylon Rogues, and I imagine after the Battle Bird Armada was introduced.
Indeed.
Yeah, for some reason, he kind of looks like a DuckTales character in this particular art style.
That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, is she a duck? And then, no, she's a canary. I'm like, sure, she looks like a DuckTales character.
It's the long lost.
Funny enough, when I first saw Techno in this style, she reminds me of this very old children's television puppet character we used to have in the old day called Ed the Duck, who was also green. But also he just talks in a squeaky voice because it was a puppet.
Of course.
He was going, that sort of thing.
And an even more annoying Donald Duck. But yeah, so she's not a duck, she's a canary, so keep her out of coal mines, I guess.
Canary.
Canary.
Yeah, canary.
So keep her out of any coal mines. Anyway, not much to say about it. Metamorphia looks pretty cool in the last panel.
And also you got little photographs of Robotnik in her room.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It was the last time too. She's like,
Yeah, because she's like adores Robotnik.
love
But we all know where Robotnik's heart really is.
in himself.
Or
Also,
Grimer,
also the
whichever one.
fridge.
Indeed. Well, he's definitely hungry considering how much he's drooling. Hungry for some cybernetic techno meat.
Nom.
Nom indeed. I love
But
the
yeah, kind of an
coloring.
Yeah.
Like the sky. I always like the nice sunset sky.
Mm.
Even though it kind of gets a bit confusing at times with how, like, it's like, oh, it's like a sunset, but then it's like, is it really sunset? I mean, like, why is section of the sky still blue?
I guess that makes sense because it depends on where the camera's pointed. Like on one, when you look at the west, it's yellow, but look at the east, it's blue or something. Like where the sun is, it's more yellow.
Yeah, I suppose so. But, though, of course, I do kind of find it sort of interesting of, like, how Metamorphia decided to turn her left arm into sort of like a machine gun battle axe.
Yeah, very Warhammer
metal.
40k-ish, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I just call it very metal.
Very metal indeed. And of course, for all the people out there who love their women giant and muscular, I guess here's your fetish.
Oh yeah, it does look really cool. They're going all big and has a really cool axe hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I choose this form to destroy you. And I don't know why I sound like a man, but I suppose that's because that's why I'm so brief and bulky like the Hulk.
Indeed. Well, too bad we don't have females in the chat at the moment who can do a female voice. Should have asked Elise.
Even the time bomb looks a bit hilarious because it's just like a normal cartoon bomb with a timer on it.
Yeah.
Even it's got like the word bomb written on it.
Yeah, they're not trying
Kind
to
of
hide
makes me
it.
think of the giant bombs from the Danger Mouse intro.
Indeed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, got to credit to heroes. At least they're honest about what they're doing. I was like, yep, this is a bomb.
Yeah, this is indeed a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Indeed.
Thank you, Batman.
We'll never forget.
Oh yeah, and of course, the fan art of Sonic riding a firework because it basically fireworks night.
Yeah,
Although I'm not
coincidentally,
sure-
coincidentally, this predates Sonic Unleashed, where he also rides a firework.
I do wonder what's going on with the other picture though. It's like, because whilst normally other pictures tend to be related with Sonic characters and such, but I'm just wondering like, who's this guy?
Yeah, that is weird. It just says like more STC magic, and it's just some random wizard guy.
Yeah, I have no idea what Sega character that could be. Only wizard character like that I know in a Sega game is Discworld for the Saturn. But I don't think that game was out yet.
Well, I know there was a wizard character in one episode of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, but obviously this is a different design.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh well, this is a random wizard. Because why
Also,
not?
the picture of Sonic riding the rocket. Sonic looks very obese for some reason.
He really let himself go during the Genesis days.
Yeah.
Seeing the rocket, the firework, makes me think of something we might have missed in the Sonic X episodes, like how the Metarex shot its missiles, but it turned out to be fireworks. It was like, oh, it detected a load of potassium and aluminium in them.
Oh
yeah.
Escape, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another thing I noticed with this fan art with Sonic riding the rocket. For some reason, one of his legs is cut off.
Yeah, it's almost like I drew it. Huh.
Oh yeah, it is.
I thought it was his tail, but indeed, that's his leg.
Yeah.
That's why he's fat. He can't run anymore. So that's why
No,
he rides the rocket.
I guess this is just showing, like, yeah, this is what Sonic looks like if he had diabetes, and that's why he's missing a leg.
I also
Thank you,
noticed.
guy.
I also noticed that the fire, the rope that sets off the firework is still burning. So why is it already in the air?
Maybe he's just jumped up into the air. It's like, come on, hurry up! I want to get up there.
Because
To the moon.
the rocket shouldn't be flying yet because the thing is still going. The little fire beneath. I know what's going on.
Child logic.
Oh well. Look at us making fun of kids drawing.
Yeah. Yes. What are you, stupid Alison Headley from the Netherlands? Oh wait, no.
Netherlands. Oh wait.
No, what is that? It's Northumberland? Northumberland. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard
I was
that
about to say,
word
it's
before.
like, wait, someone from the Netherlands sent that picture in? My God.
Yeah, Northumberland. Yeah.
Good times. Right, next comic. Sonic the Comic with Knuckles punching something on the cover.
Yeah. No, yeah, kind of awkward looking in a way, really, that how it looks, because...
Kind of stretched, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's mainly... Well, I mean, it's got two hands coming from the right, and yet apparently that the bottom part is his foot.
Huh.
So it's like so I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, almost like I drew
Well,
it.
who the artist drew it? Hopefully they'll remain unnamed.
Indeed. But yeah, Project Brutus Part 3. Who wants to do the synopsis of this thrilling tale?
Melty hasn't done one yet.
Oh, Melty? Are you
I
still
guess
there,
I'm
Melty?
nice.
Yes, you're gonna
Yeah,
have
I'm
to.
still here, just trying to be more quiet.
Hey, you should.
But yeah.
Shut up.
Shame.
Sorry, speak up. Go ahead.
Alright, I'll briefly do this synopsis for Project Brutus Part 3. So, where we last left off, Sonic and his friends are now put in chains because Brutus has managed to capture them. It's like, haha, I have captured Sonic, haha. And the village is like, oh no, we're all doomed. And Sonic's like, oh, don't worry, guys. And of course, Robotnik's still pestering him about that. It's like, yes, I got the prisoners, yada yada. And Robotnik's like, good, but I want them back, alive, for now. And he's like, rather sim rock a finger. And then the commander, one of the soldiers, like, oh, you should do what he says. And like, oh, shut up, bitch, I do what I want. so while that's going on, he drops the gun, and Sonic's like, oh, look, the gun. So Amy quickly grabs it and shoots him, so that it gives the team enough time to run off a bit. And the soldiers are tending to him, and Brutus is like, what are you doing? Go after them, you idiots! So while they're running, Amy's like, oh, don't worry, guys, I'll use this gun to break the chain so that we can move around better. But nope, the soldiers have caught up to them. So they quickly cross over the bridge right when they destroy it. And he's like, too bad, Brutus, we're on this side and you're stuck over there. And it's like, oh yeah? Well, I'm actually one of those special Badnik services robots with special powers, and behold, I can fly! So he glides over there like he's Superman, and attacks them, which really harms Amy and Johnny. So that really pisses off Sonic so much that he transforms into Super Sonic, and now he breaks free, and now it's Super Sonic versus Commander Brutus. But that's another story.
Oh boy. That just makes things worse. Dun dun dun. Yeah, it's kind of funny how Brutus looks when he flies. Whee!
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of the movie version of M. Bison from the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was, because if I was going to say that, I would say like, oh yeah, I watched a Street Fighter movie once. Look what I do. Whoop.
Good stuff.
I kind of like the second panel of him flying even more. He's just like, wee!
Yeah. Whee! Whee!
Welcome to die, Sonic.
Plane!
Yeah.
It is
And of course,
beautiful.
just seeing like in the third panel, like flying, and of course his hands are like splayed open, as like, I'm coming to get you. Ah, ha, ha.
Or like he's about to fall down. Cannonball!
Yeah, that
hey,
was
Sonic, I can defy gravity!
Yeah, in the last panel, like on that page, like he's like about to go, Mosh Pit! No!
Well, I mean, first Robotnik did it, so now it's Commander Brutus's turn.
Well, obviously they share the same brain patterns.
Of course.
There you go.
Praise the fun.
Mosh pit, mosh pit.
But yeah, it's kind of obvious that Brutus really likes to bitch slap everyone.
Yes, that panel was great.
I mean, he was about to do it to Sonic, and then he's like, but damn it, I want to take my frustration on you. What did I do?
It's funny they got these troopers that look really intimidating and menacing, but they just have the mental capacity of an idiot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they run on very old operating systems.
Indeed, yeah.
I mean, literally at a drop of a hat, they can come from intimidating to just like being absolutely useless. Like literally.
I mean, I guess it makes
It's
sense. It's programmed for very specific things. Every single time they have to think outside of the box, seemingly. Stop functioning correctly. Well, I can only shoot an attack. I can't actually think about anything. I'm starting to notice that they're starting to kind of decrease Sonic's like Mary Sooness, I guess. Like in the early comics, he was like the only one who's allowed to do anything. Well, here it's mostly Amy doing all the action stuff, so that's kind of surprised me. So they're kind of allowing the other characters to be a lot more active these days. Except for poor Johnny, he still doesn't get to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I remember not liking Johnny because I always felt like he was just one of those he's just there characters. So, yeah, poor Johnny.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I suppose you could thank Lou Stringer for changing up Sonic a little bit from doing everything because he's the hero to basically getting everyone else involved in one way or another. But the moment you take away Johnny's like fighting staff, he's basically useless.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh well, someone has to be scared, I suppose. Not that he doesn't have a good reason, because man, Brutus looks pretty intimidating in the last panel.
He's like, "Oh yeah, I could beat you up, Sonic, face to face."
Oh, with that face, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, pretty awesome art style. Although apparently not everyone agrees. Because one of the comments they sent in was this one. That kind of amused me. Sonic looks more like a pig. It's like, an angry reader.
And they just reply with, "Oh, well, it's unfortunate that we've given you the pip cherry." Okay, I'm not sure what that means.
British. Very, very British. Every single time you don't understand, it's just British.
I don't know if we should quickly bring up the something in the Echo comic, because Echo somehow makes the xenomorphs. One of them's trying to shoot himself in the head.
Oh yeah, I must have been skimming over the Echo comics, but yeah, they definitely have quite the interesting artwork from those panels.
It's pretty awesome artwork, yeah. Sadly, I didn't make any scans for them. I'll try to look it up quickly. But yeah, dolphins in space. The Echo games are crazy.
Yeah. Apparently, even one of the Xeno aliens is like seeing Echo come towards him. It's like, "Don't come any closer, or I'll shoot myself."
There's oh my god, there's a joke from Blazing Saddles that I cannot quote, but is very funny and relevant.
Does it involve an N-word?
It sure does.
Yeah, I thought so. But yeah, here you go. Xenomorphs with a pistol. What more do you want? Attacking a dolphin in space.
Dolphin just screams at it and it explodes.
Yeah, forget Alien versus Predator. We need Alien versus Dolphins.
Yes.
Exactly. So stop throwing humans at all these aliens. Just throw the dolphins at them.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Especially how ruthless dolphins can be.
Goodbye and thanks for all the fish indeed.
Yeah, especially with Simpsons showed us how ruthless they can really be. And murderous.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed, indeed. But yeah, indeed, there's an Echo the Dolphin comic also going on. It looks pretty awesome. Great art style.
I think it's the final story.
Ah.
I think it's the last part. Yeah, it is. It's the final Echo story we're going to get.
But yeah, I never really liked the games. I mean, the whole game is an underwater maze. So it's like the worst game of a platform game, and then the entire game long.
Yes, the one game that traumatized some Call Me Johnny.
Yeah, it can be. The game becomes pretty freaky at the end. But yeah, you can tell by the comic it represents. So there you go.
Yeah, I never got very far in that game. I remember the opening scared the shit out of me. It's like, oh, I'm just jumping around, da da da. Then phew, it's like, what the hell?
Noise, all the dolphins get kidnapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to play the Dreamcast version because there's later an interesting level where you're basically in the air and there's just tubes of water where you have to swim through, like very surreal. Looks kind of cool, but yeah, just like the original game, never got far because it's a big maze underwater, so not really my kind of gameplay. Oh well, poor Echo. But never mind Echo. We're talking about Blue Hedgehogs here.
Yeah.
Darn it. So, Knuckles is homecoming. Anyone wants to do a synopsis of Knuckles' homecoming? There's no Spider-Mans in here, I'm afraid.
I'll give it a go.
Already?
Since it's the introduction to one of the frequent artists, being Nigel Dobbins.
Yeah, this is his debut. Debut. Sorry, debut.
Debut, yeah. Because he gave away all of. Well, he might as well basically given away all of his pages from Sonic the comic that he did. Because I think Aaron, the one who basically gave us a few of those Sonic the Comic-Con photos, apparently has one of the pages from this story.
Oh, that's a nice coincidence.
Yeah. But yeah, Knuckles is pretty much just chilling out in the Emerald Chamber when suddenly the alarm goes off and he's like, oh, come on, again? And so he notices there's some fluctuations going on with the force fields and such, so he decides to check it out and goes to Megalopolis City, where basically his people used to reside in, so, way before Sonic Adventure and such.
Kind of interesting, they already used the correct kind of temple, so they already knew they were going to the Aztecs. I wonder if Sega already told them or something. Because I don't remember Sonic 3 Knuckles really introducing those Aztec temples that much.
Nah, unless it's like a Marble Garden Zone or something like that.
I guess, but that didn't really... Yeah, it had a bit of an Aztec in the background, so I guess. But yeah, they immediately predicted Sonic Avenger in that regard, so that's good.
But Knuckles then hears some sounds going on, and as he turns around the corner, he sees a robot exploring the rubble. He goes to tell it oi, go away, but the robot's having none of it and just shoots Knuckles. So he's like, oh, you want to cause trouble for me, huh? And he just punches it straight in the head, and the robot just retaliates by just simply doing a Brutus and bitch slapping him away. So Knuckles is like, oh, you've asked for it, and then he just basically punches the ground, creating a massive, a fissure, is it? Or something like that, where the robot falls down, and he's like, hope I don't see you again. But why was he looking in the rubble? And then suddenly he hears a voice coming from it, talking rubble? Not really, but I'm pretty much old. And it's revealed to be another echidna called Dr. Zachary.
It's Rubble the Echidna, oh.
Unfortunately, no.
Dun dun dun, and that's where we leave off for now. Yeah, so introduction of a new artist, and probably the one closest to being on model with the Sega designs. Well, except for Knuckles still having the weird metal plate, I guess. But
well, I suppose it's just to keep consistency at this point, because otherwise people will be complaining hey, what happened to his necklace? Why has he suddenly got a white pattern on his chest?
Indeed.
Hell yeah.
And why is his shoes changed?
Exactly.
Shit, different shoes, ruined forever. Yeah.
Characters wearing different shoes on a different day? Impossible. You can't have more than one pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good art. And like I said, very on model, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the robot guys look cool as well.
Indeed, very
Yeah,
interesting
cool design.
Yeah. Some minor spoiler in a way. It's basically one of the creations of the echidnas from many years ago.
Oh my!
Which was something I was going to suggest to you. You included it in one of your Sonic Roboblast levels when your cat Knuckles was going around the sort of Echidna City and such, and I thought maybe you could swap out the gun robots for these robots.
Oh, that could have been interesting. Yeah, but I didn't know.
That's fine though. I mean,
I also believe I read somewhere that the robots may have been based on one of the a Miyazaki movie called Castle of Lapuccio or something.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I love that movie. Although, do I? Yeah, I can kind of see the point with the very flat arms and legs, the flat arms and hands. Yeah, I can kind of see the point. I mean, the robot design is completely different, but yeah, the way the arms look like, I recognize it. I love that movie. Good movie.
Yeah. Kind of an odd sort of thing going on with the one panel page really, where apparently all the text is blue. So I'm assuming it must have been a printing error.
Yeah, I saw that. So I don't know what that was all about.
Because I mean, especially considering the fact Knuckles and such have still got all black sort of outlines and such, but then with all the speech bubbles and sound effects is like Blue. I mean, I definitely don't remember seeing that in my issue that I got, so I'm assuming this must have been like a early run or near the end of its printing run, I suppose.
And run out of ink.
Yeah, I kind of
So
thought
they
they
go
just
to-
I kind of thought they just had to edit some dialogue for that one page, and they just accidentally put in blue ink instead of black ink.
There were a couple N-words and F-bombs in there, so they had to edit it out.
Yeah, Knuckles dropping the F-bomb too much. Ah, you damn fucking robot, get off my fucking island.
Yeah. But yeah, the
I
one
that this British, as a British comedy, probably say it like feck. Like, get off of my fucking island.
Oi, off my fucking island, you bastard.
You twat, you cunt.
Because there was a panel where he goes like, oh, flipping egg.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Very British response from Knuckles. But yeah, it's that. But yeah, I think it's that page of Knuckles fighting the robot is the one that Aaron has.
Oh, cool. That's a neat picture.
I mean, I tried to find the picture just to make sure like it was it, but I just can't seem to find it. And he's since deleted some of his older videos, so I can't fully confirm whether or not that's the actual page he has. But I think it's definitely from one of those pages from the first story.
All right, could be.
But yeah.
Good for him.
But also we have our introduction to a Echidna character that isn't by Ken Penders, being
Oh
Dr.
my.
Zachary.
Ah yes, the Fleetway Sonic version of Dr. Finavis.
I can never pronounce that because, like, Dr. Fish Fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine that's how it is, but yeah, that's always the trouble with characters that only exist in literature stuff. But yeah, there's Zachary, but yeah, I do know that Zachary did come first before Finavis, but yeah.
Yeah.
Still is a cool character.
But part of me does wonder, like, did Dr. Zachary came first before, any of the other echidnas were introduced in Archie?
Oh geez, I don't know, maybe. Yeah,
mean,
but
I
I don't know,
was
like,
trying I was trying to do my research, and it's like, maybe, but I just don't really know at the moment.
yeah, because I'm trying to remember what's like the first time we've seen the Echidna characters. Because I know we first see them in flashback before we physically see them, but I can't remember which issue that was. And I imagine Fleetway predated then.
Yeah. But only time will tell.
Or not, because the court case never went through.
Well, it kind of just ended in more of a stalemate in some ways.
How lame. We want a proper answer, darn it. We want the court to spend their time and energy in uncovering the important questions.
Well, we still have that Lore Sue Chronicles thing going, but then again, no one Penders. That's just him talking out of his ass. So he's been going on about that thing for years, like, oh, this is going to be super fantastic, and yet the damn thing hasn't come out yet. So yeah, it's right now just sharing a room with Half-Life 3 at the moment. That was great.
Perfect.
Perfect indeed. Right.
Yeah.
Cybernik.
But what's not perfect though is that poor metal bar that just got smashed by the Cybernik.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Metal Bar.
With his
You're really
final scream of help. Scrack. Scrack.
Interesting sound effect noises.
Gotta love him. Scrack. That's the one thing I can't do in my anime. Oh, I can't. Technically, I could have like a little sound effect text floating in the air when something happens.
Or like Batman.
Yeah, like Batman, yeah. Scrack! Flop! Whoop!
Bonk. No point.
Indeed. Good stuff. But yeah, anyone wants to do synopsis? Or
Yeah, I could do this because it's got some really good action scenes in this one. Because Metamorpho is beating the crap out of Short Fuse by smashing him. Techno has to remind him that they've got less than 4 minutes to get out of there. So Short Fuse has to make it quick going against the beefed up Metamorphia. So who can change it to gas and turns back into solid. And gets her axe smashed. So he turns up the heat and has her burning and boiling in acid or something, whatever it is. And then she comes back as this horrific tentacle monster, and wrapping up Short Fuse and Techno. And then he uses his heat ray feet at her and going, ah! So they manage to slip out with less than 15 seconds left on the clock. But then Techno gets captured again by Metamorphia, who's got some huge metal bat wings. And then looks like then the bomb goes off, killing perhaps everyone. And Short Fuse drowns.
The end. I love a happy ending.
At least we'll never hear him say his backstory.
Yeah. Before I die, I must tell my backstory.
Yeah.
All the rubble must know.
But yeah, quite the weird squid-like monster thing that Metamorphia takes on. I guess the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this, like, release the Kraken.
Indeed. Well, more of it to anything, why not be creative?
And be more of an odd-looking lizard, like octopus squid type creature.
I'm starting to wonder, since they give Cybernik Techno as a sidekick, is that like a take on Robin? So Batman has Robin, so he also gets a bird.
Nah. I would say it's more of a kawiki dink.
I guess so. I was just thinking. Could be funny.
I mean, the final panel where Short Fuse is like trapped underwater with a load of rubble and stuff makes me think of that Spider-Man comic where Spider-Man was trapped under a load of water with loads of scrap metal on top of him, and he has to push it upwards to get out.
Sure. Typical situation for superheroes to get into. Poor superheroes. But yeah, pretty intense story with all the action and explosions. What's up, you?
But just hopefully there was literally no one actually in Chemical Plant Zone when that bomb went off, considering it literally just annihilated everything.
It is all set on a Sunday.
Hopefully.
Too bad it's Sunday.
Yeah, everyone died. The end.
This is Fleetway, the probably were a lot of people who died. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they just keep quiet about it so they don't get angry parents saying like, "You gotta stop all this killing. Think of the children."
Oh, somebody think of the children.
It's a shame we didn't get a quick shot where you see a lot of happy workers working in those oil tanks and all that before they blow up.
Yeah. Just reminding me of your very old sort of like Sonic Adventure 2 in minutes with like the guy saying, "Still, we gotta get in here. This place is gonna blow." "Oh, don't worry, Sonic's a game for babies. They're not going to go kill anyone." Then...
yeah, that was great.
There you go.
Or maybe another.
No, what have I done?
Yeah. Or maybe another alternative is that all the workers saw Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Crystal Skull. So like, if Indy can do it, let's nuke the fridge. Whee!
You see a whole bunch of fridge flying in the air.
Yeah, a whole bunch of fridges flying everywhere.
Too bad this was.
Imagine like all the workers are probably watching it somewhere else through like CCTV.
CCTV was that?
Closed circuit television, like security television.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I can see their doom coming.
Going like, "Oh bollocks!"
Quick, change the channel.
I love that joke. Yeah.
That's two references to the Street Fighter movie we've done today.
We're on a roll of references. Oh boy.
And not a single JoJo's reference.
Yeah, you're disappointing us, Sala. What's wrong with you?
No JoJo reference. Blasphemy.
I'm pretty. Wasn't there a single factory complex that exploded in JoJo's factory?
Uh,
No one trapped under
factories,
rubble
no.
underwater? Guess not.
There's trapped under rubble and there's underwater, but not at the same time.
Aw. Close enough. We count as half a reference.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
2 halves is a whole.
Yep.
So, next, our final comic for today with this lovely, happy picture on the on the front.
Yeah, Baxter
Ah,
Cap
yeah.
going, I'm going to eat you.
Yes, the cover that's traumatized Sala.
Yeah.
I can't blame you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
But did those mags actually sell? You British really love having those covers. Like most kids just immediately start crying. Like, I don't want to this stupid comic.
Here's the latest Sonic comic, little Timmy. Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Hey, kiddies, want to see what I'm up to in this comic?
Gotta love it. But right, the grand finale for now for Project Brutus.
Sorry, I'm just chuckling because I'm seeing in like the control zone bit in between like the cover and like first page. It's like they have like a small section dedicated to Coronation Street, which is like, really?
What?
Sonic the comic, and you're talking about Coronation Street?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Coronation Street was about 35 years old by that year.
And apparently they felt like it was worth advertising in Sonic the comic.
What is that? Is that
All
a
the-
chocolate brand or something?
It's a
It's
soap
an old
opera.
soap drama set on a street in London.
Okay.
Yeah.
35th anniversary. A cracking curry compo is on its way, and by heck, it's gonna be a good one.
Did you know there's actually a Coronation Street game
Oh,
called
yeah.
The Mystery of the Missing Hot Pot Recipe, and it was absolute crap.
Of course.
Yeah. And I think you might still be able to find it over at X or CEX for basically 50 pence or something.
Maybe that's why Sonic the Comic advertised it. Hey, there's a video game, so it belongs in a video game magazine, right?
Maybe.
Or and maybe Sonic will just appear on Coronation Street, just running around and like causing all these shenanigans. Just
Yeah,
to
Robo's
boost
Return
up the
burns down
TV
again.
ratings. Oh, Sonic just derailed the tram on the bridge again.
Yeah, have a chin wag with Gary Barlow.
Oh my.
Oh my, indeed. Right, so the Supersonic Massacre. Anyone wants to do a synopsis?
I'll go for it. So, Supersonic is barreling right at Brutus, who tells him, come on if you think you're odd enough. And he does. He does indeed think he is. And smashes right into him. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. So he Superman's away. And he's like, I know. He won't attack me if I've got a hostage. And Amy's like, bitch, you thought. He don't give a shit about me.
Supersonic more than happy to kill us.
Yeah. She seemed all too happy to tell him that. And Sonic just comes up and freaking Mortal Kombat's his arm off. And then, all of his robots start shooting at Supersonic, and he just blasts through them immediately. So they have to resort to using some quick-drying, expanding foam. But Supersonic breaks out of that immediately. Brutus is like, fuck this, I'm out. Just in time for Sonic to turn back to normal. And then he goes meets up with his friends. And Robotnik's like, Brutus should have been here an hour ago. And Brutus is like, hey, so, about them prisoners. Yeah. It's kind of funny that, he even points out, I literally have your brain patterns. You would have done the exact same thing in my situation.
Ouch.
Which, I mean, yes, absolutely. But
Yeah.
Robotnik is too proud to admit that. Because he's too narcissistic to ever blame himself, even when he is literally to blame.
Yeah, very unlikely for him to admit that, yeah. Oh well, that was pretty fun. I love how Sonic is how he looks like after you turn back normal, like he's drunk or something. Like, oh, what happened last night?
Fucking hell, them beers really.
And he's all green. Lucky for him, he wasn't all red, covered in blood.
Yeah, it's like, oh, how much Stella did I drink?
Yeah. I mean, even his response is kind of almost like what he says, like when he wakes up from being drunk. Like, wow, what do I get up to when I'm supersonic?
What I got up to when I'm drunk, yeah. Although, funny enough, Supersonic didn't do anything differently than regular Sonic in this case. Would have been funny if he did hurt Amy and Johnny.
No, him almost just being more sort of like your version of Hypersonic, except him just more like in desperate need to destroy things just to get that satisfaction.
And a sugar rush. Must destroy everything!
Yeah, I do love the panel where like the troops are trying to shoot fire at him and he just zips around the lasers.
Looks so colorful and happy. Yay! Could be a wallpaper on your wall or something for a kid's room.
Yeah.
Hey kid, look at this beautiful drawing of robots trying to kill Sonic. How nice and colorful.
Yeah, him going all movie Sonic by just avoiding all the enemy fire.
Yeah.
And turning to a beautiful art installation.
Yeah. Just needs some like copyrighted music playing just to add to it.
Well, Europop. Running in the 90s.
Yeah. Everybody supersonic racing.
That one, yes. A very fitting song indeed. But it's almost funny to me that he launches at everyone at full speed, but then when he attacks, just a normal punch. Like he suddenly stops and then just slaps and then flies off again. Instead of just crashing right into him.
Yeah, because he's like so energetic at that point. It's like, can't stand still, can't stand still. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Free Stooges, super Free Stooges.
Oh, wise guy, eh?
Yeah, vernacular. That's a doiby.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. I love the poses. I also love the first panel where Brutus gets hurt because it looks like he's dancing. Do the I'm hitting the crotch dance. Woo!
Like, almost kind of like, don't try and destroy my belt. I got to keep the cloth there. I mean, that might just be a thing in the future if we ever do something involving Brutus again, and yet we just basically have him always pulling his belt up like every 5 seconds.
He's incapable of fighting Sonic because he has to have his hands on his belt all the time.
Yeah.
I could grab this gun and shoot you, but I have to hold my belt.
And I had to buy the cheap branded store belts and not the expensive ones.
Oh no, wait, these are Robotnik brands.
Would be funny indeed if you see flying around, he still has that same pose. Yeah. Now think about it. They gave Sala the same pose in the drawing in the panel, although he doesn't have a belt. Maybe next time he get a belt there.
Yeah, hiking that belt up like what Big does in Sonic Heroes.
Exactly. Good stuff. I also love how wimpy his run looks like when he runs away from Supersonic. Like all the time he's so intimidating, but when he starts running, it looks kind of derpy.
Yeah, kind of always the running gag. Because he's a trooper, so he's got to fall into that sort of like look pathetic when things aren't going his way.
Even find it funny how the troopers are saluting him, like middle of the action scene. It's like, yes, sir. It's like, should we focus on Sonic?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Most important thing of their programming: salute Robotnik.
Yeah. Or the higher ranking officer.
Yeah, salute the man, not the horn, son.
Good stuff. I love it. All right, I guess we move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Knuckles Homecoming.
I just want to quickly bring up the Decap Attack comic because there's a part in it that's very might sound a bit familiar, where they're on the train and the conductor comes in and checks the tickets, and apparently they only bought super saves, could only be used after 7 o'clock on the return part of your journey when you're traveling on a special service when it's a Z in the month. And he makes, because it's a blue day and it's not correct, so he just kicks them off. Gee, when I seen this before.
Yeah, do you think I was inspired by this when I filmed you kicking me off the train?
Even as a massage.
Yeah, that's going to be you in the next, 10 years.
Will I become a train conductor?
Yeah, because when, work's, being problematic for you and you got to take another job and yet you end up being a train conductor and you just keep throwing people off the train, even if they got valid tickets.
Maybe it could be like a TV license inspector, you're watching telly, but you're watching telly on a blue day and you apparently haven't got a license for that. But yeah, I can probably kick people off the train because their tickets are invalid, or you don't have the ticket app. Well, they probably have.
Or basically complaining about there being a slight crease on the ticket. Nope, there's a slight crease on this ticket. I'm going to throw you out.
Indeed. So here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Luke the Fox, Luke's human form in Sonic Fleetway, with a Adolf Hitler mustache for some reason.
Oh,
maybe that's where he's been all these years.
Who knows? You learn from the best.
Yeah.
Travel back in time to learn from the master how to be a terrible train conductor. Good stuff. So, Knuckles Homecoming. Anyone cares to do a synopsis?
I'll give it a go. So, Knuckles is basically showing Dr. Zachary around the place. And basically Knuckles is simply saying, I've got so many questions to ask you about, where you come from, how do babies get born, etc., etc. And of course Zachary says, yes, I understand you've got so many questions for me, but I'm very tired right now, so I need to go to sleep. Oh, okay, then I'll talk to you later. And then
I'll show you how to make babies. Get Amy over here. Yeah. Oh, wait, he does know Amy, never mind.
Do we come out as actual eggs? And if so, do you have Eggs Benedict? But anyway,
I can imagine do these eggs have to be microwaved?
Oh yeah, we gotta microwave the babies. yeah.
Let's go Robotnik, he's an expert on eggs.
But then the robot starts to come out from the fissure that Knuckles created, and of course it's just looking like, oh, why did he do that to me? I'm gonna teach him a lesson. Why? Because he's got that sort of facial expression, that robot. Meanwhile, Knuckles is zipping through all the old sort of scrolls and such, and finds the schematics for the robot. But he's wondering why would the robot go after him? So he goes to take the designs to Zachary, only for the robot suddenly just starts barging through the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah.
And Knuckles is the one who says, yeah!
Exactly.
Kool-Aid! It's delicious!
Well, he is red, so... Yeah. So I guess he's the British version of the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, except it's in reverse.
The Kool-Aid Man gets under attack by things coming out of the walls.
Then Knuckles and the robot start having fisticuffs, only for Knuckles to be... the robot and Knuckles to be distracted with Zachary just being there. Only for the robot suddenly doing the bitch slap of Brutus. And Knuckles wakes up, questioning where the robot went, and suddenly the whole place starts to quake, and you see, the robot has grabbed the Master Emerald and just literally just squeezed it too tightly that it's basically shattered, with Knuckles going, no!
And the Emerald going, crack!
Yeah.
Crack!
No. Not the Master Emerald.
That's quite literally the death sound the Master Emerald makes. It's
Yeah, it turns out it was made of fiberglass.
Looks hollow.
Yeah.
Because it's just empty.
No, I think it's just how. Suppose it's just how the artist did it, but he realised crap, dude, I'm on a time limit here. I've only got 2 weeks to make all these pages.
Maybe the robot thinks it's a Kinder egg, and there may be a toy inside.
Yeah. Ooh, Kinder Surprise. And there's nothing. Like, hey, what gives?
Well, it's just a puzzle, darn it.
Oh, I hate that. Yes, I hate those.
Yeah. Oh, the Master Emerald. It's made of like candy.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. I like to imagine with the first bit with Knuckles and Zachary, it goes more like, oh, I have so many questions, Zachary. Like, when the others coming? What's all this? Well, I have one thing to say to you, Knuckles. Oh, what's that? Go home! I'd like to get some sleep! So I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
In these first few panels, especially that panel that's a close-up of Dr. Zachary, I realize he has, like, the bridge of a nose between his eyes that, like, no other Sonic character has.
Yeah, it looks very freaky. Yeah.
Yeah. Once I notice it, I can't unsee it.
It looks okay in most pictures, but indeed, that close-up looks terrible.
Yeah.
Like there's a penis growing out of his snout.
The more he sees the emeralds, the more it grows.
Yeah.
Because he's very excited for the emeralds.
Indeed. Lots more problems.
Also, there's not a single panel in this comic where his eyes are all the way open.
He always looks tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tired old man.
Like he's uninterested. Oh, it's not a robot. It's going through the walls, destroying the Master Emerald, whatever.
Oh no, it's gonna kill me.
Maybe he's just
anyway.
Maybe he's just incredibly stoned. I mean, because the Master Emeralds are hard and everything. Maybe that's why all the echidnas left. They got tired of being stoned.
Getting their act together.
Yeah.
They all went out and got real jobs. Oh my gosh.
Those face expressions, yeah.
Alright, so that's all I have to say about this particular story.
I also love the face expression of the robot in the final panel. He looks so bored to finally destroy the Master Emerald. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, even Knuckles, like, there's that one panel. Well, there's a few panels where his eyes are kind of half closed. Everyone's just so bored in this story.
Yep. Knuckles sleep deprived.
Well, I mean, Guardian of the Magic. Yeah. Well, Guardian of the Angel Island. It's
it did say in an earlier panel he spent most of the night just looking at the schematics, and he hardly had any sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Ah, yeah.
And the robots is just really focused on his Kinder Egg surprise. Like, oh, do I see it? Do I see it? What is it?
You've got a robot dick.
Yay!
Get a little toy robot.
And the peasants rejoiced.
Yay!
Maybe he saw the second Sonic movie and hoped there's little tiny emeralds in there as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Right. The grand finale of Cybernik Strikes Back time.
Well,
Yeah.
not really the grand finale, but obviously like the last
For
story
today,
we'll be doing this
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah, I could do this one.
Could ya?
Yeah.
And by all means, tell us our grand story of this epic Eggman building staring angry at us.
Alright, so we cut back to Metamorphia, who's dragged Techno all the way back to Robotnik's main fortress. And Robotnik's like, excellent word, Metamorphia, for bringing me this traitorous engineer. And Metamorphia brags about how she managed to defeat Shortfuse. Like, I pulled up my axe, and then I turned into a sea monster. And, then there's this bomb that showed up. Like, what bomb? The bomb that destroyed the factory? Robotnik is extremely pissed off by this.
And the camera.
Yeah, what? And his mouth turns into a black hole.
Yes. If he gets stuck in his mouth.
Yeah.
You ever just get so angry?
Sniff.
Yeah.
Okay, you see the color of my heart.
Apparently Robotnik swallowed up Short Fuse, which is why we're going zooming right into his mouth, and then we see Short Fuse stuck in him.
Oh, that would be a
Imagine,
great
like,
transition, yeah.
Robotnik's mouth making a vacuum cleaner noise and then it gets sucked into his mouth.
Yeah, he goes all Kirby. He inhales Cybernik and he obtains his powers. Right. Alright, so speaking of Cybernik, last we saw him, he was defeated and trapped underwater by a bunch of debris, and his oxygen levels are slowly decreasing. It's like, oh, I gotta get out of here. Maybe if my jet boots will help me. So he manages to slip out of the wreckage and flies off to save Techno and give Robotnik a piece of his mind. And back at Robotnik's fortress, he's fed up with Metamorphia's failures. And this time he's really fed up because now he's thrown her into a capsule, in which forces Grimer to pull the switch. So as punishment, she's now stripped away of all of her transforming abilities. So she's like all normal and everything. As Robotnik's like, maybe you'll be more useful to me as a badnik. And then cuts back to... one of the troopers comes in and is like, oh, sir, we're under attack. And it turns out that attacker is Cybernik. Yeah, it's showtime.
I love that pose of the robot running at the end.
Yeah.
And also nice
His
detail
knee
that
is
Grimer's
very-
kind of sympathetic towards Metamorphia.
Yeah, he looks
great.
really depressed with seeing her in that capsule.
I do really like the final panel with the buildings, with the making it look like neon lights.
The coloring
Oh,
is
yeah.
really awesome. Yeah, I love how the city looks at night. Yeah. Pretty good art, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
And of course, the on the first page with the second panel of like seeing a very ominous-looking Robotnik at his desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being like, you brought me the traitor. Good.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good indeed.
Oh, that's good. That's very good indeed.
Sorry, there are fireworks outside my window.
Oh, that's where that noise was coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
Metarex missiles.
Yeah, Robotics
Yeah,
attacking
the
me.
style.
Eggman is
He didn't
angry
like
at all my
Roger
jokes.
he didn't like Roger saying they were a joke, so now they're getting revenge.
So if I stop talking, then I've been destroyed by Eggman, so you know.
Well, destroyed by the Metarex, yeah.
But yeah,
So,
back
yeah.
to Metamorphia manhandling Techno. Or women handling.
So, I've shared a picture in the live chat. There is indeed a JoJo's reference in here.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. You have a black hole in your mouth? That's a JoJo reference.
Quite surprising.
Yeah, maybe Robotnik was so pissed that he was going all, I'm a firing my laser up. An oldie but a goodie.
Yep.
Now, I would have thought, like, Metamorphia, you found me for the last time. And by the way, I'm very hungry. Oh,
Come here, I'm gonna eat you. Get in my belly. Yeah, we suddenly went quiet there.
Oh, I thought my Discord wasn't working again.
Oh yeah, same here. I thought it was a
I
lag
think-
on my end.
I don't know, maybe Roger got distracted by the shenanigans going on outside his place.
Yeah.
I also want to point out another really cool panel where Short Fuse is flying away, where like where he thinks like Robotnik thinks I'm dead, hoping I surprises with the angle with
Yeah.
the beams running. It really looks cool. Looks something out of a sci-fi poster.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it's almost like he's like boosted so his booster set up to maximum that he's basically in the stratosphere at this point.
Like he's going to
Crashing into a
maximum warp.
planet.
Yeah. I'm returning back to my home planet. See ya.
Yeah,
I
I have to go
must
now.
go,
My planet needs me. Woot.
At least he looks cool, like poor thingy.
I also love the pose that Robotnik is making when he's folding his arms, like he's some sort of like angry teacher.
Yeah.
Very disappointed in you, Metamorphia. Harumpum-pum.
You have to go to bed without any supper.
Yeah.
Write 500 times not to destroy my stuff.
You have caused confusion and delay, Metamorphia. Yeah. Oh, that's a Thomas reference.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was kind of the Sir Topham Hatt, aka the Fat Controller's catchphrase in that show.
Did you break a record of most reference to other things this stream yet?
Who knows?
That reminds me of Family Guy.
Well, if that's the case, this will be Sonic Movie Madness live stream edition.
There we go.
There we go, indeed.
Except not a whole bunch of cameo characters have needlessly perished.
Yeah. And no hot scene with Sonic gals at the sauna.
I was about to say, no awkward nudity scenes
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, the hot springs.
Actually, we did have nudity scenes. Let me go back to that again. Our prisoner, our dance.
Hell yeah,
Oh,
random
right.
prisoner.
Yeah!
There you go. Here's our nude scene.
This is Sonic Movie Madness.
Yay! Yeah, he's like free. It's like, oh, so long, guys. I'm off to the hot springs with those hot chicks. Whee!
Exactly. Hey, 2008? It's almost like they're saying the date here. Must be coincidence, just a pattern probably. Or we've seen the future, or the past in our case, but one of those drawn in
Well-
1995.
Well, coincidentally, I know there is one special in Fleetway Sonic that has a story that actually is called Movie Madness, and it has Sonic in it.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
Yeah, Fleetway was predicting Roger the whole time.
Or I was stealing blatantly. Now, you
Sure.
thought I was creative. I don't think so. I'm stealing stuff.
And people are happy for you for it, Roger. To give them joyful entertainment for all these years, and we applaud you.
Hey,
Ah,
still going since 2005, and still going. Yeah.
indeed.
And still going.
And going, and going, and going, and going.
Yeah, it's like the Energizer battery or Energizer bunny. Yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking about. And we got another reference in. We're doing well.
This soundboard has given us too much power.
Yeah.
We haven't even inserted custom ones in yet.
Do it.
Oh, there you
Yeah, I'll have to
go.
figure
Just
out
a
how to
bunch
do
of
this
kids
kind
with the toys.
Well, can you blame us? Your wife showed us this amazing power that we all have.
Yeah.
things
Unlimited
you could do.
power!
It's amazing.
Yeah, that unlimited power could only produce a quack.
And on that note, I think it's the perfect place to stop our stream. Because we can't tell
We've been going for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
when the ducks
We're having
start
too
to
much
quack,
fun
we
here,
can't
yeah.
top anymore.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that was our stream for today. We finished our Fleetways, Sonic X, and guess we'll talk again next time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for number 50.
Yay.
Did have one other thing I wanted to talk about, but I'm tired now, so maybe the next
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah, the
Don't know.
Sonic Underground
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Not sure if we'll do anything special for the 50th Dissected Alive, or we'll just
Oh, yeah.
continue on like normal.
That's a good point. Guess we have to think about it. Or ask our audience. What do you want to see for the 50th?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, which...
Leave suggestions in the comments.
Yeah, leave suggestions in the comments on what our big 50th milestone should be.
Just normal Sonic Action Fleetway, or should we watch the Sonic movie, or I don't know. Play all Sonic Schoolhouse together.
There we go.
Yeah.
Talking about ducks again.
Yeah, DuckTales retrospectives.
Ignore Sonic and talk about ducks. Yeah, sure, why not?
DuckTales. Woohoo!
I'll talk about our favorite DuckTales story, or just normal Scrooge story. Carl Barks or Don Rosa.
Let's see if someone... One sec. Rhino basically says, just one question, if you have the time. What evil supersonic did you like more?
Oh yeah, Fleetway Supersonic or Dark Sonic? I assume that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Dark Sonic, because those 2 seconds when almost something happened were amazing.
Yeah.
Well, for me, definitely evil supersonic.
Yeah, it's kind of easy. That's the problem with Dark Sonic. He doesn't do anything, so it's kind of hard to judge.
Yeah,
It's like design, I guess. But
There's a lot more to go off of with Fleetway Supersonic than the 12 seconds of Dark Sonic.
Yeah, same here. It's like, sure, Dark Sonic looks cool, but he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he does something really cool, actually.
well, he does
But-
defeat those 2 robots. Just
Yeah.
we never
Yeah.
knew if they were
But that's
powerful
it.
or not. So. I mean, sure, the Metarex say they're powerful, but then again, all their mooks are.
Oh, I just thought of the perfect joke for that episode where Robotnik comes in. There could be someone famous going, "Scene interrupting Robotnik!"
Scene interrupting Robotnik!
Exactly. Although I still prefer to look at him as if he's Graham Chapman from the Monty Python. Like, oh, this is too silly.
Yeah, the general guard.
Right, stop that!
Stop it. Exactly. It's like right in the middle of the climax. Like, nope, we're not doing that. Episode's over. Good times. Well,
But yeah,
guys, see you
I
in
would
2 weeks
say-
again.
But
Yep.
yeah, I was just going to say, like,
Mhm.
I'll just simply say Fleetway Supersonic. There you go.
This will be on the 10th of June, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I might be on my going on a family holiday to Edinburgh that date.
Okay. We'll celebrate without you then. No worries.
That's totally fine.
Or we do something else. Maybe try to have the Sonic movie 2 dissected then in time.
Yeah, the long-awaited Sonic Movie 2 dissected. Yeah.
I guess that's a
only.
possibility. And then we all
Yeah.
postpone the 15th.
I assume you need me and Euan to help out with editing that particular
Absolutely,
episode.
to save my brain, yeah, because it feels weird to celebrate the 50th episode without Luke. I mean, he is part of that original half dissected crew.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have a special next time. I guess I'll
Okay.
desperately think of
Oh.
something quickly.
And that has to be done in 2 weeks.
Well, the Sonic
yeah.
movie has some stuff done of it yet.
Oh,
Yeah, we did show off a work in progress cut on one of the live streams months ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
this might actually be for our benefit, Luke going on vacation. Because if we delay episode 50, it'll be the day after Sonic's 32nd birthday.
Oh, nice.
Ah! Yeah, there's an idea. Yeah.
Well, I guess fate decided we're gonna have a filler next time. Now I just have to desperately think of what. So let us know in the comments what you want to see, I guess. Otherwise, I'll see what I can do about the Sonic movie too and dissect it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm the audio guy, and I assume Euan can help out with editing the visuals and whatnot.
Indeed, thanks you a lot for your help to keep my sanity intact. 'Cause I'm not enjoying making these anymore.
You're not as fast as you used to be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I lost my magic. I'm sorry. I'm old. Quack indeed. No better way to express it.
Yeah, wake up,
I
Roger.
have to use, I have to use that one. That was the only sound effect we haven't used yet.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we got all the sound effects out of the way now. So hooray!
Worthy of an applause.
Oh,
There you go.
hey.
So, see you in 2 weeks with something, I guess.
hmm
Hopefully something.
Yeah, something will happen.
If
Something.
not,
Something indeed.
So yeah,
Yeah,
see y'all in 4 weeks, I guess.
ending.
Yeah.
Okay, I try to time it that it's quit exactly.